That feels better. Hi, guys. Welcome. This is Monkey in the Morning. I am Monk. It has been another few days, and I do apologize for that. Whoo boy. It has been a rough few days. Not horrible, not anything to worry about, just my shitty body, man. I went back and had round two with the garage door. And while I did win, it works. It got in some good body blows, man. Fuck. I hate being crippled. Anyway, yeah, it turns out that I had everything set up right, and the only problem was I didn't push the wires in all the way to connect everything. They were in the right spot and everything. They just weren't pushed in all the way, and yeah, that comes from the mind-boggling pain I was in when I was trying to do it. I just couldn't concentrate, and I probably should have stopped. But it's working now, and it's great. And I'm feeling a little better after round two. But the absolute best part of it. Oh, real quick, Jack, my friend, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not as good as I'm sounding, but better than I have been.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about accurate.
I have the radio voice on. You know how it is.
Yeah, all too well.
Yes. How are you doing, my friend?
Getting by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna laugh and have fun and stuff. So hopefully that helps.
Oh yeah, it usually does. Real quick though, I gotta thank a couple of people here. Thank you, Dixie Rose, for that very, very generous donation from 2 days ago. I appreciate that. She said, this should help you get a new computer. Your fan sounds like it's dying. Oh, it absolutely is. I've replaced it a couple times now. And thank you, Rowan Cloud, over on the Cash App. Yeah, for some reason that closed. So give me a second to pull that up. It says, hope you have a great night. Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. That was super generous. You guys are awesome.
Is anybody watching on Rumble? I was having trouble with Rumble when I was setting everything up. I tried to get it set up, and I actually redid it twice. But last I saw, it was telling me it wasn't actually showing. So if anybody's over there, say hi.
It says it's waiting for an encoding server to claim placeholder video.
That's weird. Okay. I guess we're YouTube exclusive tonight. I don't know what's going on with it. Everything is set up. Like I said, I triple checked the damn thing. Oh well, it is what it is. So I was telling the story, Jack. Fought with my garage door again, and I won. Thank you. I'm like Rocky up in this bitch, Rocky 2, because he loses the first one. But my wife, this is the greatest part of this whole experience, Jack. My wife puts out a video to the family in our group chat with the garage door going up by itself, and she goes, "Look what Dad did." And my daughter responded, "So I don't get a show because Dad had to get the garage door to open." He tied. Rocky did not tie. He lost the first one. He wins the second one. Then he loses the third one against Mr. T, although there's a montage in between. And then he wins the fourth one. He wins the fifth one against Ivan. And he just keeps winning after that, Jack. It's a wonderful tale. But anyway, yeah, so that's all done. I'm here, and there's lots to talk about. And for those who don't want the Asmongold stuff, who want to talk about the news, don't worry, we have plenty of news to talk about. But we're going to talk about Hasan and Asmongold first, because one of the few things I have been able to do, Jack, is sit here and watch videos.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to pay attention to them very well, and had to watch several of them over again because I'm like, I have no idea what was just said. But I've been keeping up on the Hasan stuff.
Oh my God. Have you seen Tectone's tweets where he's doing all this expose stuff, like finding all these clips of Hasan being a douche to his pets?
I've seen a ton of those videos. I haven't been following Tectone specifically.
Yeah, he's
A
the one
lot
that
of
I've seen compiling all these. So
Yeah, a lot of it that I've seen is from Pegasus, where he's pulling up clips that people have on Twitter, and he doesn't necessarily always show where they're coming from. So I have seen a lot of them, and over the years, Hasan has just been a habitual dog abuser, and everybody's just kind of fine with that on his side.
yeah, well, I mean, they're bad people. So
I actually saw a woman the other day say, "You guys are worried about this when there's a genocide in Gaza." She did the thing.
yeah, that was his girlfriend. Yeah.
No, it was that's Valkyrie, and
Oh,
she did it too. But this was a separate person. This was somebody I'd never heard of before, but from the rest of the video, it's desperately trying to get into the Hasan crowd.
oh, fuck off.
Yeah, like how dare you? There's a genocide going on. One, the genocide stuff's over. Didn't you guys get the news? They returned the last of the live hostages, Jack.
Yeah, it's just dead ones now that they're not turning over.
Well, they can't find all the pieces.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably actually not a lie by them. They probably don't know
True.
where they all are.
Yeah, because they had no respect for the bodies and turned them over to never mind.
Yeah, and a lot of them were in civilian hands because the civilians there took hostages too. So it wouldn't surprise me if they honestly have no idea where those bodies are.
Now, I realize that some people might not give a shit about Hasan, and that's cool. Come back in about an hour and we should be on the news stuff. But this is important to me for several reasons. One, I like.
No, don't come back in an hour. Power through. We need the watch time. Give us money and hit the like button. All that shit. I don't know. I'm terrible at shilling.
I care about this for several reasons. One of which, I like drama. But two, Hasan has been a piece of shit for years and years and years, and has gotten away with being a piece of shit for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And any kind of culpability that this asshole finally has to take, any responsibility that this just horrible human has to deal with, good. But it also shows us how these groups work, how it doesn't matter what their members do, because you have to understand, I've told you guys this before, that these popular YouTubers and Twitch streamers and stuff that you see, they're all part of a clique. They're all a bunch of friends who get together, and 1 second, Pyrus, we will grab them. But they're all friends who pump each other up to try to pump themselves up.
Yeah.
And when their leader, Hasan Piker, is taking, rightful criticism, they have two choices: be decent people or pretend that the emperor has no clothes, or does have clothes on when he's clearly naked.
Yeah. It's a Mean Girls clique.
Yeah. It was Pyrus's birthday the other day, and we weren't here for it. So Pyrus, this one is for you, my friend. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pyrus.
Pyrus Creed.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Pyrus. Hope you have a good one. Really, really do. All right, or had a good one in this case. This clip right here that we're gonna watch. There's going to be some names I'm going to say to you that some of you have no idea of, because you're, normal people who don't follow this trash.
Yeah, sounds right.
This is taking place in what's called the FaZe house, or one of the FaZe houses. I don't know how many they have now.
Is this FaZe Clan?
This is FaZe Clan.
Okay, I've heard of them.
FaZe Clan, they're gamer group in the Hollywood scene there, and
they have a content house.
Oh, they've had a content house for years.
Oh, it's always weird when you see it. It's like shitty Big Brother.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, in this case, when you're talking about an actual esports team, it can make sense because they're all there together and they can train with their various different video games and stuff. I understand the idea behind it. It is kind of gay.
Yeah, I mean, you could do all that over the internet and sit around in your own pajamas.
But on the other hand, they're not living at home with mom, so I guess that's a win.
There's that. Are they paying rent or anything, or is this coming out of some
Somebody is.
team fund or something?
It's a
Is
team
that a
fund
cook?
kind of thing.
Do they have their own cook?
No, that's one of the guys.
Oh, okay. I was about to be really morally offended for some reason. I don't know why. It just offends me that these people, because I've seen these assholes before,
Sure.
and I don't like any of them. Most of these so-called influencers I see, I don't care what genre they are, they're douchebags.
They really
or
are,
they're
yeah.
stupid, or both.
Most of the males that you're going to see in this are FaZe Clan. Now, I don't know if all of them, because I don't follow FaZe at all. They just pop up now and then in my feed because they're part of these groups who get together to promote each other. And while they're video game focused, because of that, because they hang out with people like Cutie Cinderella, who's in the center of your screen there, they end up in these controversies that they're really not associated with. They have their own controversies. The whole what was the kids thing where they were raising money for kids through a meme coin, and all they really did was rip a bunch of people off.
It was a rug pull. I saw something about that.
Yeah, so they've had their own scandals, but when it comes to the like Hasan ones, they're not as involved as it may appear. But anyway,
the black dude goes by Cinderella.
No, the white chick.
Oh, my bad.
That is Cutie Cinderella. She is the girlfriend of Ludwig, who is Hasan's bestie.
Oh, okay.
She does a podcast with Hasan.
Of course she does.
She says in this clip, maybe it's in this clip, it's during this interaction where she says she goes to Hasan's house every day. Can you imagine your girlfriend goes to your best friend's house every day?
Only if they're fucking.
Right? Look, I'm not from Hollywood, so maybe that's just the way things are done. But if my wife was going to another man's house every fucking day, dude.
I would have serious issue with that.
Anyway, this clip blew up because remember Hasan. I guess we should just quickly cover the controversy. Back on October, I believe 6th, it blows up on the 7th, which is
ironic.
Yeah, there's some serendipity going on there. Hasan Piker shocks his dog because she dared step off of the totally comfortable plank of wood he had her sleeping on.
Yeah.
And originally he claims, no, her dew claw gets stuck, which, by the way, you can see her claws, her paws when she's stepping and when the happens.
Yep.
And there's nothing for her dew claw to have gotten stuck on. Nothing.
Maybe the Pikachu that was invisible that shocked her.
Yeah. Dew claws get caught in like Afghans. They don't get caught on flat, smooth wood.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get your dew claw stuck on a hardwood floor.
Anyway.
That's impressively dumb.
I remember thinking the exact same thing. She's over at his house every day. Right? I was like, what the fuck? How? Why is your man okay with this? Anyway.
He's probably a beta cuck like all these other guys.
Oh, yeah. This is the guy who once criticized Hasan. Remember when Hasan said that this is the hardest job ever? Ludwig made a video where at the beginning of it, he just made a little fun of that, and Hasan had a meltdown. So dude took down his video. And then he came back with, no, I didn't do it because Hasan was mad. I did it because the advertisers deserved better.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
The advertisers deserve better. Fuck you.
You pussy. Yeah, he ain't going to say shit about Hasan bending his chick over if that happened. He'd be like, I deserved that. Anyway, so Hasan lies. We all clearly see what happens. He reaches off screen to touch something. She yelps because he just shocked her. And this isn't this isn't a training that you need. Bering has talked about shock collars.
Yeah.
And how his dad used a shock collar to train one of his dogs. And what he did was he was snake training the dog. And he used the shock collar to teach the dog to stay away from brown snakes because they can kill the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in this, she upped her numbers. Stop it, Blue Eyes. In this case, it was literally the dog wanted to move. And he's like, how dare you?
Yeah, it looked like the dog wanted to stretch its legs and maybe go in the other room, get a drink of water or something. Do whatever dogs do when they get up. But no, how dare my props move from the background?
You know what dogs usually do when they get up? They walk to another place and lay back down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they're dogs. Unless they're out running and jumping and playing, they're typically pretty chill. They're like, okay, I was laying right here. I'm going to go lay over there.
Yeah, I don't like this spot anymore. I'm going to go meander over that away. Maybe get a drink of water. Maybe try and talk someone to let me go out to pee. Whatever needed done. And he's like, how dare you? How dare you not do exactly what I was thinking you should do? Read my mind.
Well, he then, after he gets some pushback, shows the collar on the screen, which is going to come in. It is going to be important later. He shows the collar on the screen, and people up the brightness of the one time you can actually see the part of the collar that would be touching the dog's neck.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this is a clip we haven't covered, but he had a friend over at his house, and she's like something to do with animals. I don't remember.
Yeah, she's like a dog trainer or something.
She's checking the collar that is on the dog, and she says to him, you're choking your dog. You're supposed to be able to get 2 fingers between the collar and the neck, and I can't even get 1 in. And he says this, and I am not kidding. But she has a meaty neck. What? It doesn't matter how meaty the neck is, you fucking retard. Yeah. Everybody has a meaty neck. There's very little bone in the neck, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a flexible area. But as usual, Hasan is very much like a woman in a avoidance of accountability. It's antithetical to his nature.
Yes.
Because he's got a tiny head, I think, is part of the problem. So that means he's got a small, tiny brain.
Oh, yeah.
And so accountability just didn't have room to go in there. But yeah, there's also footage of somebody taking the dog for a walk. I don't remember if it was Valkyrie or someone else. But there's if you look at the photo, they zoomed in and you can see a spot of blood on the dog's neck where the collar goes.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, like I said, you gotta watch Tectone, man, on X. He's got all this shit. He is on this one.
I've seen the one where it's one of Hasan's friends is going to take his old dog for a walk. What happened to that dog, Hasan? He doesn't realize the camera's on, and so he's walking across the screen, getting ready to take the dog out, and he's holding up the leash and the collar, and it's one of those spike collars, the inverted spike collar.
Yeah.
And he realizes it's on screen. He's like, oh shit. There's also a clip that has come out where Hasan was getting ready for Christmas or something, and they take who has a security camera above their fucking computer? Why do you, maybe I'm just not savvy enough in this new fangled world, but he switches to this so you can see what all's going on in the room, and you can see the dog shock collar remote sitting on the desk. And he quickly, he looks at it and he slides it off the screen so you can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a very distinct looking controller.
It is.
It's not like you could mistake it for a TV remote or something.
Well, Hasan, when he holds up the collar and he said, this is just a vibrating collar. It's just the distinctiveness of both the collar and the remote make it unmistakable which collar he has. But in the video where he shows everybody the collar, he has quite clearly taken he's taken the prongs out and put electrical tape over them so it looks like a flat back, which would work, Hasan, if the internet wasn't a thing and we couldn't adjust brightness and everything and see the ridges for where the prongs go.
It would have worked if Hasan wasn't stupid.
Maybe.
He very clearly manipulated that collar.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Only dummies are going to fall for that because it's very obviously been tampered with.
Danger says, why does that remote have a giant lightning bolt on it? Well, yeah, clearly he's just a Charger fan. That's all it is.
Yeah, he loves Pikachu that much.
Fuck. So he claims it's just a vibrating collar. It's just a vibrating collar. Well, Cutie Cinderella here is at the Faye's house, and they ask her about this. Hey, what do y'all think of this situation? And she has this to say.
So, what I had to say, I'm at his house, I looked at the collar. The collar is taped off where I think there would be prongs.
Whoops.
Oopsie. Somebody tattled.
This is what happens when you don't pay attention, because this is a woman who had Hasan, because she has her own podcast besides the one that she does with him, and she had a episode where she had him on, and she says, you get a lot of hate, but I don't understand why. There's no reason for anybody to ever be mad at you ever. You're like Jesus, Hasan. I'm barely paraphrasing. It is amazing how up his ass she is about what a great guy he is and how there's no reason to ever dislike anything that piece of shit has ever done.
Oh, they're totally fucking.
And when you don't keep up with what the actual criticism of the jackass is, then you accidentally, prove everybody right. For the record, I saw some people talking about how he must have cut off the prongs. You don't have to.
They're removable.
Yeah, they're removable. They come with a special tool that you use, basically a hex wrench, that you unscrew them with. But she goes on to tell us, well, here.
Yeah. There's no zap. There's only a vibrate function.
Yeah.
So I would agree to that.
There's only a vibrate function. Well, yeah, when you take out the shock prongs, that's all that's left.
Yeah.
But she tells us that she went over there and she saw you guys. There were no prongs on it. She did this after the incident.
Yeah, when he removed the prongs for that video, probably.
And I've seen this from so many of his little ball suckers. They're like, I've never seen him mistreat Kaya. Well, one, your version of mistreat and mine are going to be different.
Yeah.
But far more importantly, I know people who've gone to jail for abusing their wives, and they absolutely did it. And I never once saw them abuse their wife. Not one time. No, it's almost like people keep their bad behavior hidden.
What?
Yeah. I've never seen him abuse her. Well, one, if you had, I'm doing lists tonight, apparently. If you had, you would have been like, she deserved it. She's a Jew dog. And two, people tend to hide their shitty behavior. Yeah. Or in Hasan's case, do it outright, but excuse himself as he's doing it. In the case, go ahead, Jack.
I'm with Matt. The combined IQ of his orbiters is below triple digits.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. By the way, it's got everybody's usernames again or ats again. Why do they keep doing that?
I don't know. YouTube's fucking with something in the background again,
as usual.
So anyway, in that moment when Hasan does this to the dog and the dog yelps, he then is like, she's so spoiled. This is her. He basically does you burn the spaghetti. Why'd you make me do this? You made me do this. That's been his excuse all along, is that the dog is just not well behaved. That is a pretty well behaved dog from everything I've seen of it.
If I was getting zapped every time I looked cross-eyed at him, I'd be on my best behavior too.
Right? That it's not jumping on him constantly or pissing on the floor or anything. It's trying to move a little bit to get more comfortable. I mean, there's one video of him. The dog is literally just moving positions, and he's like, "Hey, stop it!" And the dog's like, "Fuck," and just lays right back down.
Yeah, apparently there's footage of him having tied the dog to that dog bed.
Not just tie, he's admitted it. He in that clip, he talks about how he has her leashed to the bed.
That's fucked up, man. How is the local animal control not investigated this?
He leashed his dog to her dog bed because in his world, he actually came out and said, "Hey, all of these people, they don't understand how you train a dog. You have to be very firm with them." And he comes off like a 50s dad who beats his kid.
Yeah.
You got to beat them every day or they'll be bad. It's really a bad look.
Yeah, he even said something, paraphrasing here, to the effect of, I don't care if the dog's in pain, it's just a dog.
Yeah, that one comes from when he's talking about what dog he's going to get. His audience is telling him, "Hey, don't get this breed because they're in constant pain and they have lung problems because they inbreed these dogs to the point of being British Royals."
Yeah.
And many, what's the word? Pure breed dogs that you have your show dogs. There's a reason the dog looks retarded. It's because they're horribly inbred and often have very bad problems because of it.
That's true.
And so his audience is telling, "Hey, don't get that." And he comes back, "I don't care if the dog's in pain and can't breathe. I need something to sit behind me and look pretty so I can pretend I'm a decent person."
Yeah.
He's such a shitty person. Anyway, so Cutie accidentally tells on him because she's dumb as shit. This is the same woman who runs the Twitch Awards. That's not run by Twitch or anything. That's her thing.
What?
Yeah, and that's why all of the people who win Twitch Awards are her friends. That's why Frogan got Up and Comer 2 years in a row.
That does explain a lot.
Doesn't it? Yeah, because she's a fucking idiot. So Hasan has a new take on this. Now, I want to be clear in this clip because sometimes Hasan is taken out of context, and I wish people would stop doing that.
Yeah, you don't need to take this tart out of context.
Yeah, one, most of the time. See, I'm doing it again. I'm another fucking list. What is with me? First of all, I'll say it differently this time. First of all, usually in context, it's just as bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a little different.
It's just awful in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. But more importantly, when you do that, when you actually do take him out of context, you give him ammunition to be like, "See, they just lie about me." And then he can show it to his little fucking sycophants. "Oh my God, I can't believe they lie about you all the time. You've never done anything wrong. You're Jesus." Jesus was a Muslim, you know.
Oh, God. I have actually heard people say that.
I know.
It's raging.
Jesus, kaboom, Christ.
Yeah. Maybe if we restructure the calendar so 700 years vanishes.
Yeah. Anyway. It shows us how much of a psychopath he is. Hold that thought, Blue Eyes. Because we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So anyway, in this clip, let's just watch.
Third group of people are the ones who are like, "Look at this clip, look at that clip, look at this clip." Like, it's obvious he's moving his arm around. Like he's fucking constantly in a state of zapping.
See, this is some shit that he's been doing, and that his supporters have been doing. Like his bullshit about these people just don't know how to train a dog. You have to stay on them. You just want your dog to run around the house and do whatever it wants at all times and hump legs and beat children and kill Muslims. No. Nobody's saying any of that shit. They're just saying don't abuse your dog in the way we clearly see you abusing your dog.
This is a type of shifting the goalpost that you see narcissists do quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Where they speak in absolutes. And they're always hyperbolic and completely unwarranted absolutes. Here it's, oh, he's always fidgeting around, touching, zapping the dog. He's always zapping the dog. Nobody ever accused you of that. That's total straw man, and you're shifting the goalpost to always doing it. No, nobody has ever said that.
The things that he's talking about with the shifting of the shoulders, it's because we can clearly see you reach for something and then the dog yelps.
Yeah, but he has to frame it like every time he reaches for something on his desk, they assume he's zapping his dog. And that is total horse shit. Nobody is saying that. He's just a disingenuous prick. And he's really good at this. You can tell he's a spoiled kid.
Oh, yeah.
So he's used to doing these kind of lazy manipulation tactics that you see from like narcissists or professional liars or con men. It's always like muddy the waters and try and shift it so that you look like you're always accusing him of stuff, and it's never exactly what the actual accusations are.
Once again, how many fucking pieces of art in the background here have his name on it or his picture? This is so weird.
An inordinate amount of them, I would say.
He's got a shrine to himself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I bet he has a very inflated ego, as we've seen. I think that he may be a narcissist, but he definitely has some serious ego issues.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
I have a couple of pieces of memorabilia that were made for me of my monkey face. And, and I love them. And they're behind me. But it's not on camera. We're like, look, ranting monkey, there's my name again.
Yeah, those things were made for you. You didn't build a shrine to yourself.
This comes from a dude who literally every time he sees the numbers 4, 2, and 2 together is like, hey, that's my birthday.
Yeah, but you're mostly more celebrating yourself. You don't have ego like this guy does.
Well, yeah, because this is some look how great I am bullshit. It really is. This
he's next level. He thinks that he is untouchable. You're just more self-confident. He is
weird.
He is pedestalizing himself. He buys his own hype, puffs his own.
He's
parts.
his own simp.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He probably masturbates in a mirror. Like when he has sex with other people, I don't know, men or women or whatever. He probably looks in the mirror at his own face.
He's like, keep your glasses on so I can see myself.
Yeah. So yeah, it would surprise me that he has some serious ego problems. That's why he's so easily bruised as an ego. He cannot handle criticism because he thinks he's perfect, even though he's got that tiny head and apparently has according to his uncle, a history of inbreeding in his family.
Well, that's why he has a tiny head. Just like the dog, he's inbred. And that's his own uncle said they're inbred, so you can't even come at me for that shit. Anyway, Inbred Piker has this to say.
And they've moved away from the initial conversation, which was that like she didn't even have that collar on to begin with. And
what? We know that she had that collar on, retard. You're the only one that said otherwise.
Yeah, we know she had that collar on because that's how they caught you, because you can see it in the clip.
Yeah, you are fighting the weaponized autism of Kiwi Farms, 4chan, and the rest of the internet because most people like dogs. It's just because you don't respect your pets and most Muslims hate dogs doesn't mean you're right.
Hasan told us that this was all just part of a racist theory about Muslims hating dogs. So how dare you, sir?
If you looked at this guy, you might think he's Greek, but you're not going to think he's a Muslim.
Seriously, that was one of his things was that this is just perpetuating a stereotype. Well, maybe
No,
that's-
because a Muslim, like a Middle Eastern Muslim, won't own a dog. So that he's defying the stereotype just by having the dog. And
But
again,
he's-
he doesn't look Muslim for the most part.
This is one of the places where I'm not sure that this is in proper context. This, because he says the original conversation, but if he's talking about a different clip where she wasn't wearing the collar, then technically he'd be correct here.
I don't think he is. He's just saying that he says that it's not a shot collar, so that's the conversation.
And that's how people are taking it.
Yeah.
But I have seen this kind of thing taken out of context. I'm not saying it's out of context, guys. In this case, if the original video was the one where he's talking about her being chained to the fucking dog bed, well, yeah, nobody suggested there was a collar there. This is why I say put him in context, because he's just as bad in context.
I would argue the more he talks about this, the worse it looks for him, because he looks stupid.
I don't know why he doesn't just shut the fuck up about it.
He can't. He has to control the narrative. It's part of the ego. He can't take criticism. He's one of the most thin-skinned pussies on the internet, and he can't handle the fact that there are people out there criticizing him, especially when he actually does something wrong. He cannot handle that because he doesn't believe he's capable of doing things wrong.
People,
he has this perfection image of himself.
One of the arguments that has been coming up over and over again, largely started by Hasan himself, he puts out the little talking points. It's very much like the Democrat Party in the press. He puts out the talking points and it just gets repeated by all the retards that follow him and orbit around him.
Yeah.
But it's that, no, people have been trying to cancel him for years. And this is just the latest attempt. It's just the latest attempt to, okay, let's say that's entirely true. Everybody's just been trying to cancel you for your whole life, you spoiled Nepo baby piece of shit. And this is just more of the same. It doesn't make this untrue. It's on video, prick.
Yeah, look, nobody on the right wants to cancel Hasan because he is like free marketing for the conservative movement. He's a rich socialist who's really stupid and says insanely stupid things and lies all the time. Do you know how many people have channels based around this asshole?
Yeah.
That just by showing I mean, shit, we talk about this retard whenever he does something vile and stupid or says something stupid because it's funny and we can mock him. This isn't funny. This is abusive to an actual living creature.
Yes.
And it's what makes him evil, but that's why he has this desperate need to control the narrative.
Hold that part about him being evil. That comes up later.
Oh, yeah, well.
Hold on to that thought, because I'm very interested in your thoughts on the Asmongold video we're going to watch. This guy's just a piece of shit. And there is no doubt what happened here. He has started coming out and being like, actually, shot collars are okay, you guys.
Yeah, first, it's the media cycle.
Which is funny because Cutie Cinderella in the podcast that these idiots do together said that if she found out that he used a shock collar on a dog, that she would shock him and set his house on fire.
Promises.
One, Cutie, that's not a reasonable reaction to such a thing. But you're going to be called a liar because he clearly shocked his dog and you haven't shocked him and set his house on fire yet.
Yeah. So she's a liar is what
she's saying. A liar. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's Ludwig's girlfriend who goes to her boyfriend's best friend's house every day.
Yeah. It's really weird.
To check out collars. Bro, your chick is definitely, she knows what his schlong tastes like. All right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. She knows all the tastes of his fluids.
She knows what Hasan Pecker smells like.
Ew.
Well, I'm just saying.
Like falafel?
Falafel and lies.
Is that considered racist? I don't even know anymore.
Only reason why I showed the collar was because people were clipping other instances.
See, this is why you can be like, no, I think he's actually talking about the real one or the original thing. The only reason I showed it was because people were talking about other instances. No. It was on her. Don't make me pull up the video, fucker. You can see it. This is how people found out what collar it was.
But this goes to my point that he has to control the narrative, because he's saying the conversation was about what kind of collar, and that's not what the conversation was. That's what he wants it to be about.
Mm-hmm. So now what you saw in the original thing, it's not hard to see the collar in the clip. Yeah. Actually, as she's turning right before he zaps her, you get a very clear picture of it. The way you can tell is there's a bright white dot. The dot is about 3/4 of an inch around, from what I can tell, in diameter and radius. Fuck, I forget my math terms. It's a little smaller than a quarter, and you can clearly see it. She was wearing the collar at the time.
Yeah.
First of all, are any of the collars illegal? No. Even in the maximalist position, even if like...
Not in the United States. They are illegal in some countries in the world, including England, Jack.
Yeah.
Even if what like the people that are claiming are just like a significant threat or whatever, like I've said this already, e-collars that have shocking components that feel like a TENS machine, which I've used on myself in the past because, you know, I'm around dogs that have.
All right. I wanted to get through that part. One, here he is. I didn't do it. This is the left thing. I didn't do it. Okay, I did it. But if I did it, it was a good thing.
Yeah, it's not happening. Okay, it's happening, but it's not that bad. Okay, it's happening, but it's a good thing. Yeah.
I explained to you guys the other day that I have used a shock collar on myself. I put my forefinger and ring finger on it and sent out the lowest shock it had, and it made me throw the thing across the room.
Yeah, they do not work like a TENS machine. That is total horse shit.
For those of you who don't know what a TENS machine is, it's a machine you can buy on Amazon for yourself that sends electrical pulses into whatever muscle you put them on. I have one. Yeah. It's actually kind of weird because the reason I got the TENS machine was for pain, and I don't mean to get rid of pain, kind of, but not really. I realized that when they did the one test on me, one of the most excruciating painful moments of my life, afterwards, I actually felt better for quite a while. And I talked to my doctor about it, and she goes, well, maybe something like a TENS machine where you could intentionally harm yourself would help out. I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's try it. I've had the TENS machine on me at the highest level, and it just feels kind of like a buzz.
Yeah, it's nowhere near what a shock collar does. Nowhere near.
Yeah, it really does just feel like an intense vibration.
Yeah.
Where a shock collar, one time, okay, I bought one of those joke lighters that actually shocks people.
Yeah.
Those things can be intense if you get the wrong one. And my friend, he needed a light. I gave it to him. He shocked himself. He was pissed. Because it gave a shock that was enough that made him toss it. And so I tried it. And yeah, that is more like what you get from a level 1 on a shock collar than a TENS machine is. You lying prick. It's just like a TENS machine. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, I tell you what, Hasan. Let's put this to the test. Okay? Let's put it to the test. You're a rich guy. A couple $100 won't cause any issues to you. Go out there and buy the collar that everybody's saying that you had with the shock capability. I think it's the E300 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Put it on and give me the controller. I promise I will only zap you one time. I'm going to turn it up to the highest setting. and I'm going to zap you. And then we'll get a tens machine. I will spring for the tens machine because they're not that expensive, Chad.
Yeah,
and
they're
we'll
like
put,
$30.
We'll put that on you and zap you at the highest level and see just from the reaction on video if it looks the same. We'll let the people decide. Like in the one, you're left drooling, and in the other one, you're just like, wow, my muscles feel a little better. See what the people think. But here's the part that really gets me, and we got to go back to Cutie for a minute. Hasan Piker's a very wealthy man, Jack.
He is. Multimillionaire.
He's a tech-savvy kind of guy in the internet world. Not like he can build his own computers or anything, but he knows how to use the internet.
Yeah.
Why would a man with the resources of him buy a shock collar that he has to remove the shocks from instead of just buying the vibration-only model?
There's really no reason for that.
Yeah, it makes literally no sense. But anyway, I just wanted to cover that to bring everybody up to speed to where this is, because it just keeps getting worse for this idiot. And Hasan, look, man, I don't want you to stop talking. But if you want this to die down, you need to stop talking because you just keep making an ass of yourself.
Yeah, he's it's not quite the Streisand effect, but he's doing the Alec Baldwin where he's talking himself into looking like a retard.
Money don't buy brains, apparently. No, you know what it is? He bought it because it was a shock collar. We all know that. We all know that he fucking shocks the dog. Yeah. And the only reason that he's pretending he isn't is because he got pushback for it. And he expected this to die down the same way. I mean, this is the guy who's called or told people that they should murder other people.
Yeah, yeah. But that's okay because he was the one doing it. But it's okay when he shits all over Ethan Klein for some random thing Ethan did. But how dare you question the great and mighty Hasan?
Yeah.
I mean, he is so amazing. Just ask him.
And if I'm him, I tell all my friends, shut the fuck up about this. And I just shut up about it. Because it would go away. It'll just be, occasionally people like me, Jack, this is so sad. My most viewed and liked tweet of like the last 4 years was the other day when Hasan said something. I didn't even pay attention to what he said. I just responded with dog abuser says what? And that has been the most viewed, most liked tweet that I put out in a long time. Don't fuck with dogs, man.
People like their pets.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea to abuse one on screen. I'm really shocked he has not been investigated for this yet, because I bet there's 1,000 people that have called animal control or the ASPCA or various other animal rights groups over this.
Oh man, I wonder if this makes it a little bit better. Yeah. You don't need to really see our faces for this. You can see it a little bit of us at the top there, Jack, but I want to be able to see Asmon because we're going to be watching him. Now, most of this video from Asmon I agree with because he's talking about, Hasan, stop abusing your dog. We all saw it. Knock it off.
Yeah.
But, and it is important to give a little context about what's happening right now. He plays a clip of Hasan where, again, he calls him Rape Tone. Hasan calls Tectone Rape Tone. Because that's Hasan's thing. Hey, everybody keeps calling me names that I'm not really. He loves to call people rapists and pedophiles and genocide supporters and baby killers and all kinds of other horrible shit.
Because he never gets a consequence for doing anything.
No. Well, Asmon's like, you need to stop doing that, Hasan. And I'm with him. And then he says some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Not the stupidest shit. That there's way too big a pool for me to narrow that down. Put among the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
But what I am saying is that there is a monetary legal target on your back. You need to watch out for that.
Now, the reason he said that is because he said there's a target on you, and he goes, I'm not saying we've come to a place where a metaphorical target, like, oh, somebody's gonna shoot you. And you have to clarify what you're actually talking about, which is so sad.
That's because people are dumber now.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, when the left uses it, we've seen what they mean by that, and it's literal targeting.
Yeah, well, they're meaning it literally, but
Yeah.
they only accept literalness now. There's no such thing as hyperbole, metaphor, simile.
Unless they're doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do it rarely, though.
Anytime they get caught saying some horrible shit, it's like, no, we were just kidding. But God forbid, somebody that would be considered on our side says something like that. And oh, you want people to die. And not even directly. I mean, this is where stochastic terrorism comes from. Now, you called her stupid. You want people to murder her. Yeah, because that's what you think when you call somebody stupid, is that they should be killed. Anyway.
You're setting yourself up to fail for no reason.
He's really not. Did you see Charlie, what's going on with him, with Penguin Zero?
No,
so
I did see him comment about Hasan, but I haven't been watching him otherwise.
So Penguin came out with a video the other day where he's turning off his monetization on YouTube. He said he'd turn it off on Twitter too, on Twitch too, but there's no way to do it. Cool.
Can I have his money?
His reasoning, and this is the part where I'm like, fuck you, Charlie. He's like, I have money. I don't need you guys. Stop sending me money. And he says, send it to charities instead. I'm like, yo, bro, you could have said, give it to smaller creators.
Yeah, give it to Mr. Jack and Ranting Monkey, because we need the money. We're
Jack,
not rich.
Just guessing, since 2019, how much money do you think Penguin Zero has made on YouTube?
Since 2019?
Mm-hmm. 6 years.
5 million?
Try 35 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Charlie doesn't need the money, so he's like, don't stop giving me money. And you know what? I actually respect him a little bit for that. I really do. He's like, I don't need your money. Stop. Me and Jack need your money. Go ahead and give it to us.
Yeah, we're working people. Come on.
This is the hardest job in the world, y'all.
Yeah.
I can't even afford the designer dog to abuse. Come on.
I got bills coming up. Come on, guys. Dig deep.
If Charlie is and he's made 5 million on Twitch, so over the last 6 years he's made $40 million. So he's like, yeah, I don't need your money, which
that's
cool,
pretty awesome.
But my point being, with Asmond here, like this is going to lead you to ruin. Hasan is wealthy enough that if he walked away from all of this now and lived the rest of his life just in his pure capitalist lifestyle, he'll be fine. Yeah, he's going to die a multimillionaire unless somebody scams him out of his money.
Yeah, unless he's really, really bad with money, which I kind of doubt. He probably has somebody that consults with him or something.
I guarantee you he has a Jewish accountant.
Yeah. You mean Zionist?
A Zionist accountant. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's set for life. His parents are wealthy anyway, so it's not like he's ever got to worry again.
Yeah, he didn't have to worry to begin with, and he definitely doesn't have to worry now. So I get what Asmond's talking about he's more talking reputational. There are creators out there who, if this scandal hit them, they would have to get a job at McDonald's eventually. Hasan is not that guy.
No, it should hurt his career because he's torturing an animal, and if you're still watching him after that, I'm sorry, I lose a little bit of respect because that's disgusting. But in some communities, animal abuse is not that big of a deal. You got like your dog fighters and cockfights and all that sort of thing, where that sort of activity is acceptable, but not in my neighborhood. If he had done that in my neighborhood, they're would have been a problem with the locals.
There's no reason you need to do this. I don't know why he does this.
Because he can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's never been a consequence for anything this shitbag has ever said.
No, never. And he's a right fighter. He will constantly fight to prove that he is correct, no matter how wrong he is, no matter how much evidence there is. He is always right.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. What?
I love the sad music playing with this. I don't know what it is, but it really does sound like Asmon is just having the most deep revelation he's ever had. I don't know who chose the music for this. Which of his editors is like, I know, let's play death music.
Do you care about him so much? I mean, I'm not caring about it. I'm listening to it. I hear what he's saying. Like, we have a lot of mutual friends, and also, like, the thing is,
you can absolutely despise somebody you have mutuals with.
Oh, yeah. I despise a lot of my friends' friends.
Yeah. That's why they're not my friends.
Yeah, because I don't like them, and they're weird, stupid.
is that there's a number of things with Hasan that I agree with Hasan on. Like, with a lot of economic things, I agree with him on.
Because you're retarded, bro. Look, when it comes to actually breaking down politics and stuff, you shouldn't be watching pretty much anybody on Twitch because they're all retarded.
Yeah, they're not a good source of information.
Hasan's a commie. There's a lot of economic I agree with him on. What?
Well, you got to remember, Asmongold is not poor either. And people tend to be a little bit more socialistic when they're comfortable because they don't have to worry about making ends meet. They don't have to worry about basic survival. Poor people tend to be a lot more conservative with their money because they have to be.
Fuck off, YouTube. What do YouTube do? Are they limiting what you can say in chat there, man? Sorry if they are. I wish I had control over that.
It's disappointing to see these like weird partisan wedge issues effectively turn people that have, in a lot of cases, symbiotic goals into enemies. It didn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. There's no reason for it to be like this.
Oh, you sweet summer child. No, it does have to be like this. For communism to work, everybody has to be on the exact same page.
Yeah,
or
that's
not for communism to work. I'm sorry, let me clarify myself. For communist revolution to work. Because communism never works. I'm sorry, Jack.
No, you can have a small group of communal people working together as long as they're all working together. But the larger the group gets, the more impossible that becomes because you can't filter out people based on greed and things like that. There's too many wild cards in there. It's just not possible. That's why no commune over 100 people has ever survived more than like 10 years.
Yeah.
It just isn't possible.
Well, and this is why I had to clarify for the revolution part of it. Everybody has to be on the same page because if any dissent is allowed, then more dissent can pop up. You have to have everybody on the same page. You're not allowed to question anything that the leader says, because if you do, other people might question. It's the same reason you cannot have a communist democracy. Speaking of which, the Nobel Peace Prize went to that chick in Venezuela.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's standing up to Maduro. She's going to bring democracy back.
No,
Maduro was elected, fuckers. He won his election with 50.63% of the vote. Chavez, before him, was elected. I know what we need is elections. That's how you got the cunt in power now.
Yeah, that's how Hamas got in charge of Gaza.
This nonsense is just democracy. Instead of giving Trump the Peace Prize, which he definitely deserves. Sorry, guys, he deserves it. Instead of giving it to him, they're like, we'll give it to this chick. And she was funny because she actually gave Trump credit, which I'm sure made the Nobel Committee just have a fucking cow. But the whole emphasis of her getting the Peace Prize was the emphasis on democracy. And none of these assholes are acknowledging she is now fighting back against the democratically elected leader of the country.
Yeah, well, they gave Obama the Nobel Peace Prize for showing up.
Yeah, he had done nothing.
Anything.
He'd been like 9 months into his first term and hadn't done shit. The Nobel Peace Prize is just a joke now. It's $1 million joke.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
All of those awards are, whether it's the Oscars or the Nobel, it doesn't matter. They're all a joke.
Cybertaz, thank you. In order to stay on Twitch, Asmon has to tongue a few crinkers. I'm buttholes, I'm guessing. This hoarder has bent the knee to the Twitch succubus, I'm assuming, gods, and the only thing worse is Frogan. Look, this is a problem that a lot of people like in Asmon's level of political understanding are going to have, is that they actually do agree with Hasan on a lot of shit. They actually are on his side, and they should not be at odds. Asmon is absolutely right here. I mean, we saw it with Ethan. Ethan Klein's, what caused all of their division was simply him saying, yeah, terrorists suck. And then asking Hasan, how come you don't, clean up your chat so they stop calling me an evil Zionist? And like, how dare you? Ethan has literally called it a genocide. He's talked shit about Netanyahu and many other Jews in Israel that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And they're like, you just support them. But Ethan disagreed just a little bit. And that's what all of these assholes are going to have to come to terms with, is like, but wait a minute. I agree with you on all this shit. And Asmon does want to keep, streaming. He's really enjoying the popularity he's got from being the anti-Hasan, which is kind of funny because he's really not. The anti-Hasan. Anyway, I think he's got the potential to get there the more he keeps paying attention to politics and seeing how stupid the left is.
Yeah, but he has to educate himself more. He's got to learn a little bit about economics. I think a lot of his siding with people like Hasan comes from just basic ignorance.
Yeah, because
he's never really looked beyond surface level stuff, and he's just starting to. So I give him a little bit of leeway on that stuff.
How do you say you agree with a lot of what Hasan says when you can see how much he's lied to you on just this issue?
Yeah.
You've seen how much he's lied about you. You've seen him accuse you of being the reason your mom, or was it his mom, died?
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you look at all of that and then when it comes to the political side, be like, no, I trust everything he says? He's clearly smarter than me.
I think maybe he's a little worried about getting booted off Twitch.
I could be, because he's got an actual. We call them bans, but they're actually suspensions. But anyway, but he still hasn't got to the dumb part yet.
Oh, hang on. Thank you, S. Cybertaz, for the generous donation. How does Sphincter trip Monkey's chat filter? Dude, I have no idea. We don't put most of the stuff that they filter out in there. It's done by YouTube.
Oh, wait. We don't. There is literally nothing in my filter. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just something that sometimes things get a little touchy, and I have no idea how Sphincter of all things got tripped. That's stupid.
Yeah. Do the South Park thing next time. BUTWHOLE.
Just call it a prison wallet.
I do love that that's how Fractured But Whole got its name, is that
Yeah.
Trey and Matt were like, I bet we can get butthole in the title of a game. I'm such a child.
It's unnecessary. It's counterproductive and it's destructive.
True.
And eventually,
Just like
it will
communism.
destroy him.
Just like communism.
And I think that's a sad thing. It is. That's where I'm at. I don't have anything negative to say about him personally. I mean, I will say this about Hasan.
You don't have anything negative to say about Hasan personally? The guy who abused a dog on camera. What? What?
Yeah. Maybe he's okay with it. I don't know.
No, his explanation is so millennial, man. Oh, fuck.
Right? I do not think that Hasan is a horrible person.
I do.
What? What does it take to become a horrible person in your mind?
Well, you got to remember a lot of these kids, and I'm saying that broadly because this guy's like 30 something.
Yeah.
But they were raised without the concept of evil. Everybody's just misunderstood, or they have something they have to work through. They had some trauma, some bullshit excuse like that. That's a bad person. They don't have that lexicon.
Dog thing is separate.
Yeah, if you separate all the horrible shit we've seen and heard from Hasan, yeah, he's probably a nice guy. If you separate everything bad Hitler did and only concentrate on good things he did, he was a hell of a guy, Jack.
Yeah, he was a vegetarian, liked dogs.
That whole Holocaust thing, that's a separate issue.
Yeah. I mean, he was opposed to chemical warfare.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Look, that wife beater's a great dude when he's not getting drunk and smacking his woman around for not doing the dishes.
Oh,
he's great when he's sober. I don't know what your problem is.
Al Capone was beloved in his community because he gave a shit ton of money to things, helped people out. He also murdered a bunch of folks.
Yeah. It's all part of the PR campaign. You do some nice stuff so that people like you, and you can run roughshod over the laws behind their back.
Yeah,
it's just good marketing.
Hey, if we ignore all of the bad shit, he's a really nice dude.
Just don't borrow money from
I don't think that he is. The reason why Hasan has been making content for 10 years. Over 10 years. There have never been a lot of really, really bad controversies about him.
Somebody hasn't been paying attention.
He blew up because he said America deserved 9/11.
Yeah. The professor of all people said that.
Yeah. And look, when it comes to the professor, I realized that he was trying to be funny and edgy. It was even cringy back then.
Yeah.
But I do understand that he was trying to joke there. But people who have been trying to tell those same kinds of jokes have gotten canceled over the years.
Oh, yeah.
But now, like, nah. Over on my Streamlabs, 1 second. I have not seen the Freedom Tunes one, but I have seen Bearing talking about it. Tyra, thank you. Have you guys seen the Freedom Tunes on Hasan and Dog and Bearing pointing out there is an actual video that looks like the cartoon? Yes. I have not seen the latest Bearing video. I only got to watch a few minutes of it before I finally had to go to bed. Several times now, Jack, I haven't even gone to bed. I've just curled up on my floor here because I can't walk that far.
Ooh.
Yeah. And let me tell you, sleeping on what is basically an unpadded cement floor. There's a carpet in here, but it's just cement underneath it.
Oh, I've done that. It's not fun.
My hips afterwards are like, okay, you were right. We should have went to bed.
Yeah, you're too old for that shit, buddy. You gotta at least get a mattress topper or foam pad or something to sleep on.
I'm gonna go steal that dog bed that the cat likes to sleep on. It's out in the living room.
Yeah, that would have been way more comfortable. Probably warmer too. because
It would have been.
concrete will suck the heat out of your body.
It would have been smarter though to just go to my bed because it's much closer than the living room.
True. Pro tip: if you're out in the woods and you have to sleep out there, separate yourself from the ground because, like concrete, the ground will absorb your heat and make you hypothermic a lot faster.
That's why on the survival shows and stuff, not Survivor, real survival shows, you see them. They build something slightly off the ground so they don't freeze.
Yeah, even if it's made of branches and pine needles, you want to separate yourself from the ground because it just leaches the body heat and will make you a completely useless person if you wake up.
Do you guys ever sit there as we're talking and you're like, why are they talking about this now?
Do we need a reason? I mean, we segue into weird shit all the time. That's usually my fault.
If the audience is ever curious about that, because it's not your fault. We both do it on it. I mean, I started talking about the dog bed for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but that's you ever slept on a dog bed?
Hey, listen. Yes, I actually have. So yeah. There was one time the girls were staying over and they all wanted to sleep downstairs. Typically, the younger girls sleep upstairs with Lady Monkey. Little Butt sleeps down here with me, but all the girls wanted to sleep downstairs. Like, it's cool. You guys all take the bed and I'll sleep on the floor. And Lady Monkey, to be nice to me, went and got the dog beds and laid them out for me, put a sheet over them. It was actually pretty comfortable. Those aren't bad.
Yeah.
Yes, I slept at the side of the bed on dog beds. Yes, and I have no shame in that because the little girls got to be comfortable with grandma.
You want to hear something really gross?
What's that?
I had sex on a dog bed with a woman once.
Well, before you get to that, these dog beds have never actually been. The dogs didn't like them, so they're just cushions, basically. Yeah. Did you do it on a bed that had been used by a dog?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes it a little grosser.
Yeah. I mean, look, it was dirty sex, but we ended up sleeping on that dog bed the entire night too. So it was gross all around, and I took a very shameful shower the next day.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I think we've all taken a shameful shower once or twice in our lives, or at least those of us who have fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's sort of like sex in public. You're like, well, this seems like a good idea right now, but it's a terrible idea. And
then you're like, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I had to add with a woman part.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it gets weird.
This is not TYT. You shouldn't have to put that disclaimer in.
Right? Yeah, Tom, you're not wrong. No, I did not get fleas. Her dog was really well taken care of, but it was asleep on her bed. And she was feeling frisky. So you take what you get.
There you go. All right, so this is his bad take that I was talking about, Jack.
Wait, we're not into the bad take yet?
No, this is the bad take.
Okay.
This is the bad take, and it does get worse.
There have never been a lot of really bad leaks about bad things that he's done.
Well, that's because he does them right, and like Destiny's a shitbag. I'm not defending him at all, but Destiny, his major downfall started because of the leaks of him sharing porn that women didn't give him permission to share. Hasan openly was showing people nudes that women had sent him, and everybody just like, what's wrong with that? What?
Well, Hasan's a content thief, a terrorist supporter.
Yep.
He's a vile, awful person.
Yep.
And the fact that he abuses dogs really is not much of a stretch.
The fact that he does it all publicly doesn't make it better.
No, it just makes it more brazen. It shows his level of narcissism.
If you murder people in the street in full view of everybody, you're not worse than the guy who did it and tried to cover it up. You're both murderers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Real fast. Thank you, Tyrai. Since Congress wants to play politics with their workers and obligations, this would be my last donation until at least a CR is pushed. Also, our office receives so many phone calls of when they will get paid. Well, thank you, Tyrai. I hope that put you in a tough spot because trust me, I understand what it's like to not get paid for a job. Unfortunately, that happens a lot, and I hope things get sorted out real soon because this is getting ludicrous. They are really purposely fucking over people that work and have to go to work and not get paid for it. It's gross. It's very akin to slavery in a way.
All right.
Most of the bad things that he's done on camera.
I don't think he's a bad person because there haven't been leaks. He does it out in the open. All right. That is a take. Yeah. I'll just point out that EDP going to pick up a little girl was on camera too. I guess that means it's not that bad, huh? You like them cupcakes, do you? It's on camera. You can't be mad about it. The fuck are you talking about, retard? This is why I call this, Asmon's bad take on bad people. It being public doesn't make it okay, fucker.
Yeah. No, I think this is a cover your ass kind of thing. So he wants to criticize Hasan, but he can't go too hard because then he'll lose his platform. Because Hasan's crybaby viewers would go report him.
And I'm coming at this from the perspective of a content creator. And I think that a lot of content creators over time will eventually get exposed.
I've been a content creator for almost a decade. There's nothing to expose me for.
Yeah, I'm a relatively boring person, and we're on here fairly regular saying exactly what we think. So
I've talked about this in a slightly different context before, but these people, all of them are bad. It's amazing how many times, yes, they do get exposed, but it's kind of the Weinstein thing where within their community, it's an open secret.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I didn't say anything because I didn't have, actual proof or anything or stupid shit like that.
And they're all clout chasing off of each other. So it's a symbiotic relationship. If Hasan goes down, all his orbiters go too.
This is Asmongold telling you all of the people I know in this space are shitbags who have skeletons in their closet.
Yeah. He's not directly saying it, but that's the implication.
Okay, so I've been on this platform for 9 years, Jack. Just hit 9 years in September. I've known a ton of creators. And of all of the creators that I've known and interacted with in any kind of way, there are, that I know of, 2 who have been canceled. One I didn't like, and you guys can, if you can find the streams that still exist. Marty. Do you remember Marty? The Roman dude?
Oh, yeah.
I never liked that prick, and you can't find anything where I am pleasant to that prick. And he went to jail for abusing a child.
Yeah.
The other one is Based Mama, who, tried ripping people off. That's it. That is the extent of the people that I've come in contact for or with that have, skeletons that were exposed. That's it. I would actually be shocked. I wouldn't be like, that was expected. I would be shocked if any of the people that I have interacted with over these years got exposed for doing horrible shit. Because I try not to hang out with horrible fucking people. Roaming millennial, sort of. Well, roaming, I don't count that because, look, I said at the time, if all she did was come out and at the beginning said, yes, this is the Russians, I would have had no problem with any of that. She just hid that the Russians were involved. And I don't have the same anti-foreign influence thing, Jack. I expect that they are. The same people who are like, the Russians are trying to get in our elections, will cheer when the fucking prime minister of Britain is like, we don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Rekieta.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Rekieta. Fair enough. You got me. 3. Rekieta.
Yeah, who's been MIA for like the past month and a half, by the way.
And again, in his, I don't care that he was doing coke. My problem was with him doing it around his kid, and clearly not. I don't know if he gave. There were rumors about him actually trying to medicate his daughter that way. I have no proof of that. I do know that he didn't pay enough attention to his daughter at the very least to keep her from doing coke at 9.
Yeah, well, if she had habitual user levels, then
Yeah.
there was some really bad parenting going on either way.
Yeah. And in those cases, or in that case, that is all shit that happened after he becomes, as big as he was and starts going down this clearly, let's call it destructive, self-destructive path.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, for Asmon to sit here and go, I think all creators can get exposed. You need to hang out with better people.
Yeah. People with morals, I guess.
And look, in fairness to his statement there, I mean, he was part of the OTK group where they covered for the guy who molested a sleeping girl.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, they hid that for a year until they pissed off Train and he brought it back up. And then they were all like, what? Huh? So, I mean, he does. Asmon, you have bad friends. The people that you've hung out with are bad people. And maybe that's clouding your judgment. I don't think he's a bad person because all the people I hang out with are shitbags. And compared to molesting a sleeping girl, zapping your dog is not quite as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
So if we're talking about relatively speaking, I guess.
Wow.
Anyway.
They will eventually have somebody say that this person said this thing that was bad behind closed doors. Hasan has been in this space for about as long as I have, give or take.
I'll tell you guys right now, there's stuff me and Jack have talked about off stream that if they were on stream, some people would be very mad about. That they could be like, did you see what these guys? But none of it's actually worse than anything we say on stream. We just know the legal limits of YouTube policy.
Yeah, there's limitations on terms of service and stuff like that. Otherwise, we'd say it on air. I don't think there's really anything we've talked about off air that we wouldn't have said on air.
No, if we were allowed to.
Yeah,
and
we're just not allowed to.
But he's now conflating, you said something bad off stream, like you dropped the Republican youth thing, the young Republicans thing going on right now.
Oh yeah, nothing burger. That's a bunch of edgy boys from college. Come on, get over it.
Well,
stupid.
My fit, because I watched Phil DeFranco's take on it. No, it's not just college age kids; it's 18 to 40-year-olds.
Oh my God, a bunch of people that want to be edgy. Oh my God. Oh, Phil, if you knew what I said off stream, the kinds of words I use, you would cry, you bitch.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with, there would definitely be people upset. I'm not talking about our audience. I'm talking about people like Phil DeFranco. Like, he said the N-word. I've said it on stream too, fucker.
Yeah, well, stop clutching your pearls over fucking words, People get all bent out of shape about you give words power, and that's on you. That's some old school mysticism thinking that words have some sort of magical ability. No, they don't. You're fucking stupid.
This is blowing up because of what's going on in Virginia. In Virginia, you have the AG candidate who, in private messages, said he wanted the one-time Speaker of the Virginia House to be murdered, and his kids, who were 2 and 5 at the time.
That's the part people had problems with, I think, was kids.
And they're trying to compare that to some edgy boy humor where a guy, they said that in the messages, like, you get attention if they think you're very conservative, and his response was, good, I'm Hitler. because that he wasn't joking. Of course not. He actually thinks he's Hitler. He started a fire and he's hurt some Jews. It's just retarded. They're like, look, these are the same. They're not even close to the same. You have a guy saying that he wanted kids murdered versus somebody saying, I'm Hitler. It wasn't funny, but he was clearly being sarcastic. He really was. And go read the shit. Don't take Politico's bullshit take for it. I saw this scandal blow up and I'm like, okay, I filled the frame. I cleared my history, my watch history because it was just trash. All I was getting was murder porn, and I wanted other stuff back in my feed. And as soon as I did that, one of the first videos that pops up is that DeFranco video. I'm like, fuck it, okay, I'll watch. And the hyperbolic, you know what? We're gonna go in on Phil soon. I'm gonna find a video just to put that little bitch back in his lane.
You mean back on his fence post?
This motherfucker is acting as though this is like some of the worst shit that's ever been said ever, like in the history of ever. Like, can you believe that they said these things? Oh my God. Bitch, you came up by using titty pictures for your thumbnails.
Well, you got to be like Peter Dinklage and pull that ladder up behind you.
But even Politico admits they were jokes. Yeah, I mean, never mind. I'm not here to talk about that story right now. It might come up later.
Tank. And in the same way that I say, look at me, look at the amount of bad interactions that I've had with other people, other twit-longers that people have had, etc. On a personal level, I'm not talking about his viewpoints and his politics. I'm talking about on a personal level how he interacts with other people.
This is why I use the Capone example.
Yeah.
There are tons of horrible people who have gone to jail for some really bad shit, who most people thought was a really great guy. You know what I mean?
Such a quiet boy.
Yeah.
I don't think that Hasan is a bad person. I do not think that.
I do.
So do I. And it's because of all the shit he does publicly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hasan is actually an evil person. Because maybe not intentionally, but he's an evil person.
The idea that because, hey, he did it in front of all of us, that makes it okay, this is why I say this is among the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Somebody hey, if you do something bad in public, you're probably still a good person. But he's not done yet, Jack.
I just wish he wouldn't act this way. It's unnecessary.
What's wrong with it? Is it bad? Like, if he's not a bad person, what's he doing that you wish he wouldn't do? I've never seen somebody doing some good shit and been like, I wish they wouldn't do that. That fucker's feeding the poor. I wish he wouldn't do that.
Well, I do that whenever I see people give money to the homeless. Should do that. Let them rot. They're not people.
That's different than feeding them, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The notion that, hey, I wish he wouldn't do that publicly. I wish he'd hide it like the rest of us. What the fuck, dude?
It does not have to be like this.
So
that's
your big problem isn't that he does this bad shit in public. It's actually that he has caused division that brings you some hate. He's come after you because you have slight disagreements with him. That is what you think is a problem. The stuff that you acknowledge is bad that he does in public, it's no big deal, man. I just wish I wish you wouldn't, come after me, bruh. Look, I know he's not a young person anymore because he's in his 30s, but young people are stupid.
Yeah, pretty much.
The millennial generation was ruined by the boomers who had kids way later than they should have.
Yeah, and they tried to hide them from everything, protect
Yeah.
them from bad ideas or helicopter parenting them. You know, when I was a kid, we used to walk 2 or 3 blocks to go to the library or to the park. You can't do that now. Somebody will call CPS on you.
Viewpoint. I know that you guys might not see it the way that I do, but my perspective on this is probably a little bit different because the way that I see it is through the lens of a content creator.
No, we see it differently because the people you hang out with are all shitty people to the point where you're like, I think they could all be exposed.
Well, he lives in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the problem right there. That'll skew your perception of right and wrong any day of the week.
And so I'm contrasting this with other content creators.
A rapist isn't better than a murderer because he didn't kill him, you fucker. They're both bad people.
What?
He's equivocating. Like Destiny kept child porn. So compared to that, Hasan abusing his dog, that's no big deal. So he's not really a bad person. That's not how bad people work, you stupid shit. Fuck. You can have like Stalin wasn't a good person because Hitler was a shitty one. They were both shitty people. They were both evil. Like, well, look, comparatively speaking, you know, Hitler wasn't such a bad guy. Mao killed 100 million. Which I don't know how to deal with people who can equivalate, like make equivalencies. Equivocate. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know how you deal with them. I don't know how you have a conversation with somebody like that. He speaks as if they're a different level than regular people because they're content creators. Well, look, if you're talking about, like, let's say a legal case comes up and I give my opinion on it and totally outdo the lawyers on it, and somebody comes in and goes, hey, this lawyer, fat guy named Robert Barnes, said this, it would make sense for people to look at that and go, oh, well, that guy's the lawyer. This is a legal topic. Maybe we should give his perspective a little more weight. Content creators are just people. They don't have any special insight or anything. His special insight to this, honestly, is that so many of the people that he has been in contact with, in public with, as part of their OTK and all, so many of these people have been exposed for horrible shit. So his perspective, he's not wrong that he has a different perspective, but it's a skewed, fucked up perspective. You're trying to make it seem like what Hasan does isn't so bad because it wasn't leaked. He did it in public. It's not. Your friends doing shitty things, the bad part isn't them getting exposed. It's that they did the shitty things, dummy.
You would think.
And to a content creator, it does make a little bit of sense that he's like, hey, if you haven't been exposed yet, then it's not, hey. Because if you haven't been exposed for it, nobody knows about it. So you can still pretend they're nice people. Until the DMs come out from a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Boys Mouse Streams, audience, boy and off audience, be shit, we all know it. Sure, right? But I'm just saying, like, in terms of personal, like, interpersonal problems. That's something that that's something that I have a very, very... One thing that I've learned is that people that have problems everywhere they go, I wonder why.
How many people have been friends with Hasan for more than 5 years? Publicly friends with the guy. He's burned all of them.
Yeah.
He has interpersonal problems, you shithead. And then,
Well,
go ahead.
part of his problem is lack of responsibility. He blames Ethan for everything that happened between those two. And he blames everybody else but himself. And that kind of narcissism doesn't exactly make a good friend.
For the record, I'm not. I know some of the people's pictures or thumbnails. What are they called? Avatars. If you donate and I read out the wrong name, I'm reading what's on the screen because YouTube's doing their weird shit again, where it's whatever your account sign up was rather than what screen name you use.
Yeah.
So, Deca, thank you. The millennial gen is the equivalent of a younger sibling having the controller taken from them by their older sibling for doing it wrong. It should be. Because these are bad. I get what he's trying to say here. Because, again, I mean, he was an OTK and one of them molested a girl who was passed out. She wasn't just asleep, Jack. She was passed out. She was underage drinking at one of their parties.
Oh yeah, that's not good. Oh.
And one of their members grabbed the girl's titties, claiming that he was checking her pulse.
Through her tits?
Through her tits. Yeah, that's the best place to take a pulse is on the titties. And they buried this girl. She puts out she goes to put out a statement about it, and the OTK folks find out about it. Miskiff and his whore girlfriend find out, like, no, we gotta go tramp this down. So they have her write a lie about what happened, and she gets blacklisted. She goes along with their lying bullshit, but she gets blacklisted. Not the rapey dude. No.
Fucking
She
hell.
gets blacklisted until another fight pops up, and this creator named Trains pops up and's like, hey, what about this girl? And then everybody started paying attention to it again, and then they're like, yeah, what he did that day was unacceptable, and people just went with it.
Wow.
Like, you guys covered it up for over a fucking year. And so in that respect, yeah, if you come from a place where it's perfectly fine to have slaves, all right, let's use that one. Let's say it's 1820 and you live in America, and somebody comes to you and you've never heard anything about how it's wrong to have slaves, and somebody comes along like, it's wrong to have slaves. You're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That what do you He is in this ecosystem of shit. The LA creator space is just Hollywood on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. It's people who aren't pretty enough to get into actual acting, who can do some great makeup tutorials to make them look like they're actually pretty on YouTube rather than, sucking Harvey Weinstein's wiener. They're out there sucking the Hasan wiener.
Ew.
There had been jokes about Weinstein being a fucking pervert for literal decades, Asmon. But if you heard celebrities talk about him, 90% of them, Jack, talk about him in public, I mean, he was a great philanthropist who gives people a chance and it's really done some great. Hillary fucking Clinton was out there talking about what a great guy Weinstein was.
Well, she also hyped her husband, so
I guess, Asmon, he wasn't really such a shitty person, huh?
yeah, it was all out in the open.
Yeah, it's all out in the open. It was an open secret. Everybody knew about it, but everybody talked about what a great guy he was.
So, yeah. All I'm saying is that I don't need to criticize a person's opinions and then turn that into a personal attack.
That's not all you said. If that was all you said, sure. Yeah. You can criticize somebody's opinions and still think they're a nice person. I have criticized Shu's opinions before.
Yeah.
I think she's generally a nice person.
Yeah, I don't know. She seems like she might be a real bitch.
Look, if you go back and like watch the Brittany Venti video on her, when she was like in high school and shit, she was probably a shithead. But this is, 10 years, 15 years later.
Yeah, like Brittany, Shu, whichever one of you is willing to touch my pee-pee, I'm more than happy to say you're the good guy. How's that?
I have made 2 videos on Bear, on Alex.
Yeah.
Criticizing him, criticizing his take on stuff. And yeah, I didn't think he was a bad person because of it. You can think somebody's Asmon, if that's all you said, this video right now wouldn't exist. I'd be talking about other shit. But what you said is that you don't think Hasan's a bad person because he does it on Twitch. The horrible shit he does in the open.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird take.
All right, that's enough of Asmon. But I had to play that part, Jack, because god damn. He's not really a bad person because he does it online. Fuck you.
Believe the appropriate phrases. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? All right, guys, this is the part that was promised. I told you to come back in an hour. It's actually been an hour and 40 minutes. That's my bad.
Whatever. Linear time doesn't exist. We learned this already.
I wasn't going to apologize or anything. I just that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Don't eat crumbling cookies. They're usually dry and nasty.
Yeah, that's gross.
Get a nice, soft, moist one. It's like vagina. You want it moist.
Yeah. Not sopping wet. But
no, because then it's nasty.
Yeah, it's icky.
Yeah, clean. Never mind. All right. So on to the political side of things. It's immigration time, Jack.
Yay!
Because those ICE people are out there being bad.
Sure.
This is Miss Kyle Kalinske, Crystal Ball, who at one time actually wasn't too horrible of a person, but over the last several years, probably from swallowing Kyle seed, has become infected with stupid.
Yeah, it's like she did get dumber somewhere along the line.
Yep. Well, she turned hard left because that's what she had to do.
Yeah, I suppose.
You can't try to make it in traditional media and be conservative. Not without some major balls. And most of these people don't have balls. They're academics. I mean, these are not people who, these aren't even like old school reporters used to come up by, going to war zones and stuff. And their footage was so good that they eventually got an anchor's chair. These are people who are coming out of college right into the anchor's chair.
Yeah, pre-manufactured communists.
Yeah, these are academics. They're not pounding the pavement kind of people. Anyway.
One of the things that, of course, is interesting about Marjorie Taylor Greene here and the political moment we're in is
we need to talk about Marjorie for a minute, because Marjorie came out the other day. It's one of the few times I was on Twitter, and she said that there's a clip of her talking about illegals and that we have to come to some kind of understanding, you see, because she owns a construction business and reality is reality, which is her admitting to federal crimes.
Hey, fact.
Please understand that even the lots of people, they're rhinos. No, that's what Republicans are. Republicans, for the most part, are just Democrat light. It's why they get elected. They're Democrat light.
It's also why they don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're not actually upset about the way things are going. They just say that so they can fundraise.
We already have a program that she was talking about construction. You can't find white people that want to, or black people who want to make good money. It used to be that, hey, nobody wants to pick the fruit. Now it's you can't get people who want to do construction.
Well, it's hard work, and they've been hiring illegals for 10 years.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Anyway.
Is that it was up until now, Democrats who really were kind of on the back foot on immigration. And now Republicans are having to answer for a lot. So I'm going to show you.
Republicans are having to answer for a lot. You forgot the rest of that sentence, Crystal, of made up bullshit. That's what they're having to answer for. Like, ICE detained a 4-year-old. No, sorry, deported a 4-year-old. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. The parents got deported because they don't belong here, and they took their kid with them. But as part of the media, you know what that's like, Crystal, right? Not giving the full story, lying to make people hate other folks. Looney, thank you. Asmon lives in Austin, Texas. Yeah, but you're right. He does live in Austin. I did know that. Didn't he used to live in LA? Or I know he's part of the group of LA creators, even if he doesn't live there. His friends are all there. But I appreciate the correction. You are right. I did know he was in Austin. All right, here we go.
A few different videos. I want to give you a picture of what's happening on the ground in Chicago and some of the absolute insanity that is unfolding here. The first one, this is a local news report about ICE picking up this autistic 15-year-old who reportedly has the capabilities of roughly like a 4-year-old who was there with his family working at their stand and then went to go to the bathroom, and they kidnapped him and did not let the family know. Family couldn't find him for days. Let's go ahead and.
Did they kidnap him or did they deport him?
Neither, but we'll get to that in a minute. I want to let her tell her bullshit story. So 15-year-old with the mentality of a 4-year-old, ICE picked him up off the street. They kidnapped him off the street.
Oh, no.
This report.
The boy was here at this intersection in Spring Branch with his mom and sister selling fruit when he disappeared. And here's the information we just learned in the last 30 minutes. Take a look at this. So the boy has autism and is sometimes nonverbal, and he disappeared last Saturday. He's 15 years old, but his social worker says he has the mindset of a 4 to 5-year-old. So they were very worried about his safety. The mom said around 3 p.m. on October 4th, she was with a customer selling fruit when her son asked her to use the restroom, and when she turned around, he was gone. Now, they filed a missing person report with Houston police, and earlier today, Fiel Houston held a press conference with the family begging for the public's help to find him. Now, today, police notified the family that the boy was found safe. Fiel Houston said a law enforcement agency found him, and he's been at the Office of Refugee Resettlement Children's Detention Center since Monday. The family.
Wait, did they find him or did they pick him up?
Hold on to that.
Family is undocumented, and they're trying to get him released from ICE custody. And I'm told that the mom just had a FaceTime conversation with her son in the last 30 minutes and is thankful he is alive and hopes to be reunited with him soon.
Okay, let's bring these points back up on the screen and talk about them. 15-year-old boy. True. He's 15. Went missing on October 4th, as far as we know. True. Absolutely. Law enforcement found him on Monday. False. They found him that day, actually. In ICE detention, no. She even tells you where the kid is. He's in the Refugee Resettlement Center. This is not ICE. See, what happened was the police picked him up. The police picked him up almost immediately because there's a retarded kid running around. And when they asked him where he lived, he told them that he was homeless and an illegal. Yeah. And so I'll bring up a story in a minute that proves, you know what? Let me switch over to that for just a second. So nobody's like, Monkey's just making this shit up. Not that I think you guys would do that. But here's the story on it. Now I realize this is from Fox, so people, it's Fox. Here's the ICE statement. On October 5th, so they picked him up the next day, or they contacted him or these guys on the 5th. He goes missing on the 4th. On October 5th, the Houston Police Department contacted ICE about a minor they had picked up. Notice in the story, she says a law enforcement group picked him up. Doesn't say Houston police, which is the accurate description of the law enforcement group that pick him up.
Yeah, they sort of imply that it was ICE.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Wait till we get back to Crystal. A minor they had picked up who claimed to be homeless and from another country. ICE worked with HPD to see if they could identify the minor or any of the minor's family members living in the U.S. When no family members can be identified, ICE helped HPD place the minor with the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement. At no point was the minor in ICE custody. For additional information, please contact the Office of Refugee Resettlement. ICE had nothing to do with this shit except for trying to find the kid's parents. And then there's, in the United States, CPS can't apparently get involved, or in Houston, they can't get involved with the illegal. Since the boy is not a U.S. citizen, Child Protective Services is not able to assist. That's why authorities had to work with ORR to find safe shelter for the boy until he could be reconnected with his family. But her framing, like, ICE picked up this kid. Can you believe what ICE did? These fuckers, they picked up a 4-year-old. Or, sorry, he's 15, but in a 4-year-old brain.
That's some disingenuous shit right there.
Right? This telling of this story. And you can hear it in the way that they tell. A law enforcement agency. Houston police was too fucking hard to say.
Well, you got to make it sound scarier than the cops picked him up.
Oh.
Because, I mean, the cops find missing kids all the time. You know, you find some kid walking around on the side of the road. And you're like, oh, that's not right. So they did what they're supposed to do and be like, this kid needs to be somewhere safe and not meandering about the town.
But this is one of the two examples that she uses, because she's going to use another one.
Oh.
Well, one of her two examples of how Republicans have to answer for stuff.
Republicans.
If this mom had her retarded kid in their home country, maybe she would have known where he was.
Yeah. I mean, chances are pretty good that, you know, it would have been a smaller community and easier to find him.
How long were you selling fruit that you lost a 15-year-old?
Well, look, you're making deals, haggling. You ain't got time to keep an eye on them teenagers. They probably thought he was in the bathroom jerking off again.
Oh, anyway.
And I'm told that the mom just had a FaceTime conversation with her son in the last 30 minutes and is thankful he is alive and hopes to be reunited with him soon.
So
I want to point out, so the article that we read was from Fox News. The article, or the clip that we just watched, is also from Fox News, who were clearly in ICE custody. He was never in ICE custody. This is why we tell you all the time, Fox is not the answer to the mainstream media. They are still part of the mainstream media.
Yeah. Although I would have found it funny if he had been found by Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
And he was in Vanilla Ice's custody. He's like, don't worry, kid, I'll help you find your parents. And they just assumed that the ICE in Vanilla Ice was Immigration Customs Enforcement. That would have made awesome. My night.
I mean, I don't know how you defend that. Completely indefensible picking up this.
It's completely indefensible to pick up a 15-year-old retarded boy who's wandering the streets alone.
I think it's more morally reprehensible to leave that kid on the street. That is disgusting.
The fuck is wrong with you, lady?
That's how morally bankrupt a lot of these people are. Their delusion is so ingrained that they can't even see the predictable outcome of their own policies. Like, if they had left this kid out there, he'd probably be dead.
Well, obviously, Crystal is known for her mind. That's why she has, hey, look at my titty shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, that's Yeah, there's that.
Child who has a significant disability, not notifying the family, still being held.
They couldn't find the family. She's a fucking illegal who lives on the streets.
They had a fruit stand, Monkey. You don't understand. You just don't understand the nuance. She went to college. So
where's your parents? We live in the box.
They're in a cardboard box down by the river. What?
This isn't the town I live in where you could probably over a week get to everybody. This is fucking Houston.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big city, some would say.
How far did he wander? Faithless, that's one of the questions that I kept having on this is where was this kid going to the bathroom? That's all they tell us is that he told his mom he needed to go to the bathroom. She turned around because that's what you do when a kid says, I need to go to when a 4-year-old says, I need to go to the bathroom. Like, hang on. Where did he wander to? Where was he picked up at compared to where she was selling fruit on the street?
He was probably chasing a butterfly or some bullshit like that and got distracted by shiny things and ended up 4 or 5 blocks away and was totally lost.
Yeah. Because he's a retarded, and I'm not saying retarded the way I normally use it. He's actually a retarded kid. If he's 15 with the mentality of a 4-year-old, that's retardation.
Yeah, and he's going to have a hard time recognizing landmarks in unfamiliar areas. So if they don't leave like a 3 or 4 block radius, that kid's going to get completely turned around really fast.
And they didn't immediately contact his parents. There was no way to.
Yeah, he probably doesn't even know his parents' real name. He calls them mom and dad. Well, what do your friends call him? I don't have any friends. I'm homeless.
They call him, go back home.
In custody, just absolute insanity. And there's more where that came from.
No, there's not. Well, there is more where that came from because you're a lying bitch. And I asked her the other day because she posted another lie. If Kyle will just love her more if she gets an ICE agent killed. Because I cannot
probably.
I can't fathom what she's trying to do here. It took me less than 10 minutes to find the story about this, to find out what happened, to get ICE's statement on it. And in fairness, maybe she got the story and they hadn't made their statement or anything yet, but you're a news agency. You could have reached out. You could have the first thing.
You're a lot more forgiving on that than I am.
You could have had any kind of, I don't know, skepticism since so much of this shit has been nonsensical. You could have been like, wait a minute. ICE held this kid. On what grounds?
They always have to stick to the propaganda, dude.
The kid didn't even say that he was, at least in the ICE statement, didn't even say he was an illegal. He just said he was from another country. Homeless and from another country, you can probably bet it's an illegal, but maybe there's somebody on a work visa living on the street. I don't know. But there's no reason for, and he was in ICE custody. No, he wasn't. He was in HHS custody because they couldn't send him to CPS. What do you think? Okay, let's say you do it like you would with an American kid. You got a retarded kid wandering the street. The police pick him up. And that's another thing. Crystal, you never asked who actually picked him up. ICE picked him up. Bullshit. The Houston PD did. But let's say everything's normal, right? He's an American kid. He's retarded. He's wandering the streets. The police pick him up and they send him to CPS. And CPS is like, where's your parents? And he goes, we're homeless and I don't know. How quick do you think CPS could have got that kid back to his homeless parents?
It would have been amazingly difficult.
Yeah. They don't have a crystal ball. See what I did?
See what you did there.
See what I did there? I'm so clever. Now, next, I'm just going to tell you right now, I cannot find the backstory on this video. But I've seen enough of these videos. How do I put this? Where it's out of context would be the nicest way I can say it.
Put this next one up on the screen. So there have been a number of instances of these car accidents. You can see here, ICE is in this white silver vehicle, rams into that car, begins to pull off. Bystanders who are recording say hit and run, and then they jump out. I'm saying ICE, by the way, loosely here. I don't even actually know what. There's a variety of federal agencies.
I'm just saying ICE because I want to make you hate them. I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, this could be postal inspectors.
She says there's been a number of incidents, and while I couldn't find anything on this one, there was one just a couple of days before this, Jack, because this says October 10th. There was one on October 4th where a guy and a girl were following the ICE agents around and hit their car.
Yeah.
And
Those
then ICE
were two members of the fictional Antifa group.
ICE gets out of the car and the dude tries to run over the ICE agent who fires into the car, hitting the woman because there was a guy and a girl in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them were caught.
Yeah.
Her with the bullets in her. Whoopsie.
Oops.
But they just conflate it. Now, my guess, because it's amazing to me that this starts right before the ICE agents or whoever these folks are. I'm just going to say ICE because my guess is they were doing the same kind of shit that other couple was. My guess is ICE tried to pull them over and stuff, and they didn't, and so they did this. That's what police will do to you. They're allowed to, in many jurisdictions, knock you off of the fucking road.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pit maneuvers and various other techniques to stop vehicles from fleeing.
Yeah.
On the ground. So I'm just using ICE as a blanket term. Then they come to
I need to go back just a second because she does something really dirty here.
Variety of federal agencies on the ground. So I'm just using ICE as a
Did you see the screen go bright real quick?
Yeah, where they edited something out.
Yes, they edited something out, and it is important.
Blanket term. Then they come to this car that they rammed and pulled this lady out by her legs. She was apparently just trying to get to work. The
source of her trying to get to work is her sister saying she was just trying to get to work.
Yeah. That's not necessarily reliable per se.
As I do, I went and found an original clip of this video, Jack.
Oh.
And we're not going to watch it because I closed it. You can look it up. It's on Instagram. But the part that she cuts out is them knocking on the car door, saying, get out of the car, repeatedly telling her to get out of the car. And then when she doesn't, then they remove her, like police do.
Yeah, because Pennsylvania v. Mims says you got to get out of the car upon the request of an officer for officer safety.
But in this case, she cuts that part to me. Like, they immediately pull her out by her legs.
So she's
you know,
a liar.
Do you know why they pull you out by your legs?
It's harder to run away if somebody's got your legs.
No, because trying to grab somebody around the torso and yank them out when they're holding on to something is almost impossible.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to get technical, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was being serious on why they do it. They just like your legs. They have a foot fetish.
ICE has a foot fetish. Sorry, sir, we can't hire you. You're not into feet. You got to be a weirdo.
Something else they do here is you don't get to see what this lady is doing on the ground very well, but she is kicking and flailing like a fucking mad woman.
Oh, of course she is.
This is a U.S. citizen, guys, by the way. U.S. citizen who happened to be wrong place, wrong time, gets hit.
Happened to be wrong place, wrong time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
By these federal goons, and then gets pulled out and arrested. Her sister said that she...
You can't see it very well. They conveniently have their chyron in the way.
Yeah, convenient.
But go watch the actual video. I mean, this bitch is like crazed.
And she called them goons.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I respect the use of the word, but not appropriate here because these guys are actually doing their jobs. this is what they're supposed to be doing.
Had been fresh out of surgery, just cleared for work a month ago. They held her
Fresh out of surgery, just cleared for work a month ago.
Well, maybe she shouldn't be fighting with the cops if she's still got injuries.
She doesn't. You don't get cleared for work and you just had surgery
A month ago.
No, she was cleared a month ago.
Oh, fuck off.
She was cleared a month ago, which means she probably had at least 6 weeks before that for recovery.
Yeah, they're really trying to paint these cops as the bad guys. Look, there are times when the feds or the police overstep their boundaries.
Yes.
But every time they talk about them now, they're not. They're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is rounding up illegals and people who are attacking them.
On the screen, they have what the person who recorded this is saying.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, she's a female. Yeah, they tend to be the kickers and biters.
Yeah, also, he has no evidence of how she identifies.
Well, unless, he happened to know she was going to be there. And the rest of this, I want to see the rest of this recording.
Oh, you're not going to see that. Especially
No.
what happened before this guy recorded. A lot of these people are activists, and they selectively edit what they record. So you only see the most damning parts that they can milk and corrupt into making the cops look bad. Look, ICE is doing their jobs for once. They're not being concierge service for the criminals. They're actually arresting the illegals and throwing them out of the country because they're a bunch of parasites who provide nothing to us other than to drive wages down and take up housing and drive our social service costs up. So ICE is doing a great job here, and if they rough up some asshole, I don't really have a problem with it. That's kind of in the job description. You don't have to like it. That's the world we live in.
Evolve said, didn't this lady try and run over some ICE agents? This lady, I could not find anything on other than the original video and a bullshit article that basically says what Crystal says here. Nothing that happened before is brought up. There was a case where a guy and a girl did that happened around the same time as about a week earlier.
Yeah,
but
they were known Antifa members.
Yeah, for this being almost a week old and there being literally nothing about it anywhere else, I'm gonna guess she did something that she deserved this. And frankly, fuck you again, liberals, for making me be this way. Because I don't want to root on a police state, Jack.
No, absolutely not. But when the cops are doing their jobs and somebody starts fighting with them, then you're going to say they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, it is amazing to me that this video just happens to start right as the white vehicle, the white SUV that rams into this car is getting ready to ram into the car. How did you know to start recording right then?
Because it's a plan.
Yeah, of course.
That's the only thing. We've seen a lot of organized efforts, especially by Antifa, to interfere with ICE. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if this person driving the car had been trying to cut them off or in some way impede their job. So they rammed the vehicle to knock it out of action and arrest the woman. That's perfectly within the purview of these agencies to do. You can't put people's lives at risk. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was staged this way for a reason.
Can you talk to the audience for just a moment?
I suppose so. What's up, audience? You guys doing sexy stuff out there? Did this lady try and run over some... hi, Jack. Hi, not Jack. Hey, Tim. Are you guys watching the Portland animal protesters have been sending? I watched some of them. Oh, my God. Portland is full of such dummies. And the naked bike ride. Oh, that was gross. Sing to us, Jack. You can tell by the way I walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. That's about all I know of that. Stay alive. You have to talk to the plebs. I'm from the chat. You're my people. I am a dirty pleb as well. I am not audience. How's it going, Evil One? Protest was indeed pathetic. Yeah, that. Look, man, there are a lot of really weird people in Portland. That place is. You want some people talk about the open air prison in Gaza. Portland's an open air mental asylum. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but it needs hosed down. Oh, you're building a PC. That's pretty cool. Portland has a great zoo. I've heard that.
Right.
I've never been to it, though.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Needed to empty my old man bladder and pet my kitty cat.
Oh, yeah, my kitty cat was chewing on the fucking cord to my headphones.
Here, Hasan, let's real quick talk about spoiled animals. Your animal's spoiled because it wants to move. I just peed in the dark because I know my cat doesn't like the fan in the bathroom. Just saying.
We're not the same.
We are not the same. All right. Back to these assholes.
Her in detention for hours. The sister says they brutally dragged her out of car at gunpoint. We had to run all around the area just to find her. So, just total insanity here.
Is it?
This is gonna sound meaner than I mean it, but this is why women shouldn't be involved in the news.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say drive.
Well, that probably too.
Yeah.
Because what we're about to see, this next chick that comes on the screen, I've seen on Megyn Kelly's show many times. I don't like her because she's boring and I can't listen to the way she speaks, but she typically comes off as kind of conservative. And both of these women are reacting to shit that are total lies. One, God, I'm doing it again. First, there's no way to do this without listening. When it comes to removing somebody from a car, if they're fighting, yeah, that's exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to look like they're being violent to them because they're trying to remove a person from a pod, and there's no easy way to do that. This isn't like picking up a sleeping child out of the back seat. This is a grown adult who doesn't want to get out of the car fighting back.
That's the thing. They're even if it's passive resistance, they're going dead weight. It's still resistance that you're going to look like you're being violent because you're still having to use some force to drag someone out. It's just the nature of the beast, and you don't have to like that, but it's just the way things are.
Let me see if I can find the original video again because it is. Okay, there's no way to. How do you blow up an Instagram video?
There's no idea. I don't use the gram.
All right, well, we'll just do it as best we can here.
I bet somebody on Twitter's got the video, dude.
They might.
Real quick here. Thank you, Rodline. Did you see the Batman choking an ICE agent illustration and surrounding debate on X? Oh, yes. I did. That was by Daniel Warren Johnson, who currently draws Absolute Batman. And it looks like he's trying to snap the neck or use a sleeper hold on an ICE agent. And even your boy Zach from Diversity in Comics supported that video or image, and so did Scott Snyder, one of the writers on the Absolute books. So yeah, fuck those guys.
All right, so here we are at the part that they decided to skip over, where they're trying to to get her out of the car. Get out of the damn car. Come on. And then they pull her out. Now, you'll notice that the video that they showed was zoomed way in.
Yeah.
And it's clearly not this clip here because you don't see any of the words on the bottom, and you don't get to see her violent reaction. They're trying to get her out of this car. No. You do. So they get a hold of her legs like you do. Yep. Pull the bitch out.
She was probably trying to crawl across.
Look at this. Look at her kicking and flailing.
Yeah.
What'd you expect them to do, Crystal? Oh, you silly goose.
Also, in my state, you're not allowed to drive without shoes on.
Maybe her flip-flops came off.
Maybe. Or alternately, she's one of those degenerates that goes around with no shoes on.
Last I knew, you could in Michigan drive without shoes, and I like to do it.
Gross.
But you do need to check your local regulations on whether you can drive without shoes. Anyway, back to the Tard twins.
Incredibly dangerous, crashing into this car, and then they were just going to do the hit and run. When we got called out on that, they're like, all right.
They were just going to do the hit and run. That's why they got out of their vehicles with their guns drawn.
Yeah. Also, if they are like transporting somebody, they can't just stop at an accident a lot of times, because the safety of the prisoner is important as well. You don't know if these are like rival gang members trying to intercede or people trying to de-arrest them. You don't know the motivations of the people in the car. So I maintain they probably hit this car because it was harassing them on the road. That is the most likely scenario here. They don't have a track record of just hitting vehicles and assaulting citizens. We would have heard way more of that.
Absolutely. But they were just going to drive off. You have no fucking proof of that, lady.
Yeah, none. That's all speculation. We've never seen them do that. Now, if it was like the presidential motorcade, they would absolutely keep going, and like a couple cars in the back would stop. But like I said, you have to take into consideration the scenario, which is what's going on.
That's the other thing. There was another of those vehicles there that had already stopped. It's in the video that she shows. There was not just one ICE or whatever they were vehicle.
Yeah, there's usually multiples.
They were just going to hit and run and drive away. For what purpose, you bimbo?
What do they have to gain by that? Especially because if this person has ill intent toward them, it's actually pretty risky to stop and try and extract them from the vehicle. But
let me go.
This person must have done something to get arrested.
Back and pretend like I have a reason to arrest this lady. He's a U.S. citizen, ultimately, Emily.
This is a really...
Well, there's still federal cops. You can't attack them whether you're a citizen or not.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Like, she's an American. She can assault police officers if she wants to.
That's insane.
They don't follow up with this. They say she was released, but they don't talk about whether she was charged with anything or not, which my guess is she was.
Really, really bad situation, and that sounds like a kind of obvious way to put it, but I just want to make the point that it's not just a bad situation because of ICE. I'm going to get back to that. I think it is a bad situation because of ICE, to be very clear.
What you're responding to is called bullshit. Like, this would be like me, hey, Jack, the other day, I watched a woman beat a cat to death on the street. And you're like, that's horrible. But I'd made it all up. And you're like, this is a clearly bad thing for women. They're beating cats to death in the street. Like, but that didn't happen. But it's a bad situation for women. You're literally responding to stupid and saying that it's a bad thing. It is a bad thing because you're lying about these people.
Yeah, it would be a bad thing if that's what was happening, but that's not what's happening.
In the first of those two reports, a 15-year-old retarded kid is picked up by ICE and hidden from his parents. In reality, he was picked up by the police, and they were desperate to find his parents and couldn't because there was a homeless woman.
Yeah, even if ICE tried to help them find the parents, that doesn't mean ICE really had anything to do with this.
The kid was never in ICE custody. And this is a conservative kind of chick. I don't know her exactly. Like I said, I've seen her on Megyn Kelly a few times. I hate her voice. Oh, yeah. If you don't have balls, there is no excuse for your voice. Lady.
Yeah, she's got man hands. Is that a dude?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
They're on breaking point, so it's possible. But this person, they're just the way they talk is so boring They could be, talking about she could be describing really good porn in that manner and just be like, I can't. You're boring. But again, you got some women's up here and like, can't believe this is happening.
Fucking hell.
How about even just the slightest bit of skepticism in you? Just even a little tiny bit.
Nope. Speaking of which, did you see AOC and Bernie?
That's on the agenda.
All right, good.
Before we get to that, though, I'm a fan of the Supreme Court.
Jesus.
So we got to talk about this because, in what's kind of a rare instance, Jack, the Supreme Court had second arguments on a case, and the case is involving, was it Louisiana? I think their voting districts, and the idea that. I get why it was done originally, Jack. I do. But here in America, we decided that black people can only be represented by black people. So we had to have black districts so that black people could be put into instead of American. And this is the problem with all the identity shit. It should be Americans represented by Americans, white, black, purple, whatever color they are. But because it's a racist time when the Democrats are controlling everything, they're like, I know, we'll make sure blacks get represented in Congress by making black congressional districts, and they write it into the Voting Rights Act, which is racist. In order to purposefully set up a district to favor one group based on the color of their skin is fucking racist. It just is. And the answer to racism is never more racism. But this is what a lot of the fights have been over the years about voting districts and stuff. It is largely to make Democrat districts, but it's to make a black Democrat district. You have to have a certain amount of black people in this district, so there's a good chance they will elect a black person. None of this is controversial, or I'm not speaking out of turn. Nobody denies this is what it was done for, and that's racist as shit. It just is. Well, this is being challenged because of the districting there in Louisiana. I think, is it Louisiana? Somebody help me out here. I forget. And normally my brain would kick in by now, but it hasn't yet. And some people have challenged the notion of this. It says it right there. Supreme Court heard arguments in March, but ordered to hear the same case again with 14th and 15th Amendment in mind. And the argument with the 14th Amendment is that in order to say that, hey, this has to be a black majority congressional district, well, you're not treating all citizens the same as the 14th Amendment requires.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and this is a blatant violation because they love the 14th Amendment and to misuse it, but this is a blatant violation of the 14th Amendment's clauses. I believe it's clause 2, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, Ketanji Brown Jackson, hopefully this is loud enough.
I guess I'm thinking of it, of the fact that remedial action, absent discriminatory intent, is really not a new idea.
Retaliatory action despite...
Remedial, not retaliatory.
Sorry, remedial. No, but it is retaliatory. I use the proper phrase. Remedial, without discrimination intent. It is intended to be discriminatory. It's just being discriminatory to everyone who's not black.
Oh, that's not possible, Monkey. We've learned that you can't be racist to white people.
And this is really where the shit comes from. Is the notion that you can be racist as long as you're doing it with good intentions. Can you imagine that in any other scenario? Like, let's say a store gets robbed by a black guy and the guy's like, no black people are allowed in here anymore because clearly the only person that ever's robbed me is black, so black people are the danger. I'm not doing it because I don't like black people. I just don't want to be robbed. We rightfully call that person a racist. But it's okay if you're doing it like, hey. If we don't make it so that this gerrymandered district looks like a scribbling of a 5-year-old, then you can't have a black person elected to Congress. Then suddenly it's noble, even though it's clearly based on discrimination, because you are discriminating against every other group in those areas.
Listen to all these hate facts monkeys dropping, you guys. It's ridiculous.
We have got to get away from the black, Latino, white dynamic. It's just American. It's just American.
What?
And if you happen to live in a place where you are the minority, too bad. If it bothers you that much, move someplace where you're the majority.
Somewhere Nick Fuentes is crying.
Oh, that's because he's a bitch.
In the civil rights laws. And my kind of paradigmatic example of this is something like the
Paradigmatic. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
She's just butchering the English language today.
Paradigmatic example of this is something like the ADA. Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities.
Black people are like disabled folks.
Yep.
Good one.
Had you seen this before I sent it to you?
Yes, because I saw that there was stuff going on with the Supreme Court. So yeah.
I saw this and I was like, oh, I got to send this to Monkey.
And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings.
No, that's okay. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, more listing. First of all, black people could vote, okay? Yes, it's passed in 1870s when black people can first vote. They finally had to stop dealing with Jim Crow shit from the 50s through the 60s. Black people have access to voting. Getting a black congressman is not the same as not being able to vote. No, it has to be a black congressman. A crippled person who can't walk and the only way into this building is up 14 flights of stairs, literally can't get into the building unless somebody picks them up and carries them. They're not even close to the same. But second of all, that the ADA is bullshit and should be overturned on discrimination claims.
Yeah. By the way, the first black congressman was elected in 1870. It was Joseph Rainey, and he was from South Carolina.
Yes, South Carolina goes almost entirely black. It's actually a fascinating look at American history. South Carolina goes really black for voting and everything in 1870. It's when the 15th Amendment is passed, and it gives black people the right to vote. And immediately, yes, black man elected to Congress. And that's when the Democrats came up with the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up. It's true.
Oh, irony.
And all of the shit that is supposed to fix all of the racism in America is fixing what Democrats have done throughout the years. Because they have never been able to separate race from America. These are the people who will tell you can't be colorblind because then you can't see that black man has the same experience as all other black people. You can't see that they're the Borg.
The retarded Borg, apparently.
Yes.
And it didn't matter whether the person who built the building or the person who owned the building intended for them to be exclusionary. That's irrelevant. Congress said the facility.
No, Congress was wrong on this, because it would matter if somebody's like, I don't want cripples in here, because that would be them trying to keep crippled people out. If, on the other hand, they just rented a building that wasn't handicap accessible, there was no intent there. There was no harm meant. And sometimes you just don't get to do things you want to do.
Yeah, if you really didn't want black people in your store, you just call your store the DMV, right?
There you go.
And they won't be able to find you.
Can't find it. And if they could, they wouldn't know what to do when they got there.
Yeah, like the DMV computer shop.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
These have to be made equally open to people with disabilities if readily possible. I guess I don't understand why that's not what's happening here.
Well, again, because in the cases you're talking about, crippled people really couldn't get into the building. Black people can vote and run for Congress, Jack. They can run for these positions and they can vote. They're not being in a district where they are the minority, which they're 12% of the country, so that's probably going to be the case in most places.
Mm-hmm.
That's just demographics. It's how it works. Sorry. The no taxation without representation, Jack, didn't say without somebody who looks just like me.
Yeah.
And it's such a nonsensical thing to be like, only a black person can represent black interest. Well, how about American interest? It shouldn't be black or white or Chicano interest. Can we say Chicano?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's allowed. I'm going to say it, but it should be American interest. It's Republican versus Democrat interest. It's not white versus black interest. Oh, it's so retarded. Democrats, look, I will give it up to you guys. You have done an excellent job of taking these communities and making them marginalize themselves. You really have. You've done wonderful on that. But what you're doing is fucking gross and stupid. It's racist as shit. These laws that are being challenged right now are racist. They absolutely are. They're not racist against black people. They're racist against everyone else. Or I guess you could say they can be racist against black people if it's like a majority Latino community. This is one of the problems with democracy. They love democracy, right? But it's got to be democracy. In a straight democracy, this kind of law can't exist, because what you're doing is you're taking away the will of the people in that area. Speaking of black men, what's up, P-Dog? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well.
Hey, P-Dog, sorry to hear that you're retarded.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry to hear about your retardation. In fairness, me and Jack never thought you were retarded until the Democrats told us you were.
Although your parking situation just improved dramatically.
No shit. Black people are basically disabled people.
I could not believe she made that analogy, dude.
It's how the Democrats treat black people.
Yeah, and like I understand Jumanji Brown Jackson is not very smart.
No,
but
she's not.
Jesus Christ.
So my guess is that when this is decided, it's going to be on a 6-3 basis. The liberal justices, maybe Amy Coney Barrett goes with them because she's a woman.
Maybe, but yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty obvious split.
From what I heard elsewhere, when the original case came forward, it wasn't really looking that good for the challenge here. But with this re-emphasis on the 14th and 15th Amendment, Kavanaugh specifically was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I feel like I've been taken for a ride. So it'll be interesting to see how that one flushes out. My guess is that they're going to finally shoot down these racist fucking programs. They're the nonsense of, look, I don't care how states district it however you fucking want to, but there should not be a federal law. First of all, that goes against the idea of states making up their own stuff. There should not be a federal law that says, hey, you gotta make a black district, because otherwise black people don't have representation. You think the shitheads I have to vote for represent me? Because we have the same.
And I would say no.
We have the same color skin. Get fucked. Christ, I'd take a midget Chinese person with Down syndrome as my governor over the one we have.
I think that would be an improvement. Yeah.
Oh. All right. And now for the clip you were talking about, Jack.
What the fuck? Uh-oh. Yeah, I was just messing with you, P-Dog. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, P-Dog. We're not the ones who think you're retarded. We're just going by what the Democrats tell us. Sorry.
Yeah, it's what Ketanji Brown Jackson said.
All right. So I don't know why this is still happening, but Tard on the screen and older Tard that's going to be on the screen in a minute are still out on their retarding American tour.
I watched a bunch of clips from this thing, and I may have to sit down and watch the whole thing because it's full of just hilarious, stupid shit.
See if you can find us. See if you can find us a full clip or a full show of it, and we'll watch the whole thing. Okay. Not today. We'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. Speaking of, today is what, Thursday?
I don't know.
Guys, what day is this?
Yes, it's Thursday.
Okay, yeah. So tomorrow's show, I have to get to bed early tomorrow night. And by early, like midnight at the latest. So on Friday night, whatever that is, we'll try to do our show at 9. But tonight's show, hopefully, if you find that clip for us, we'll just go over this whole thing and laugh at Tards. Cool. We'll laugh at Tards for 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to DM it to you right now.
Sweet.
But are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
When I said older Tard, I didn't mean this older Tard. It's the older Tard in a minute.
Yeah, the old commie Tard.
That still doesn't help because she's a commie Tard too. This is Caitlin Collins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's my bad. I forgot there was a third Tard that was going to show up. And anyway, she's asking about whether or not AOC is going to run against Schumer for the Senate seat there in New York. That's what she's asking.
I mean,
all right.
No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is
what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
When you two idiots are like, this is what we're talking about, and laughing at yourselves, and nobody in the audience joins along, your point missed. Like completely. Typically that's a laugh line, Jack. That's a clap line with the audience. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yay.
Couple of things. You ran against Crowley back in 2020. A major member of the Democratic Party. He was number 3 in the Democrats in the House. He was one of Pelosi's boys. So it's perfectly within the realm of possibility that your bitch ass would run against Schumer. And it's a legit question. It is. Are you going to run against Schumer? Politicians get asked all the time when they're going to run, who they're going to run against. This is not a gotcha kind of question. But boy, do they hate being questioned, man. That's so ridiculous. I wasn't given an audition.
It is falling apart. We are in a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive.
cats and dogs living together, mass chaos.
Let's say we have all these crises. All these crises exist. That doesn't mean you can't ask whether or not she's going to. In fact, it becomes more relevant if she's going to run against Schumer. What point are you making? We have all this important stuff, so therefore it means that you can't ask her if she's going to be an even bigger part of the government. Wow, I'm actually doing a pretty good Bernie today. Wow. It bothers me that I did that as well as I did.
It's all your listing.
Income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run. What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. So
people do care. It's why the question came up, you fucking retard. How is this old commie still in Congress?
I don't know. People are stupid.
Nobody cares. It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
Right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real.
Whether or not she's going to run for a Senate seat is not a real issue.
Correct. Because he said so.
But everything you mentioned, your ideas for fixing it have to go through, the Senate.
What? No.
So whether or not she decides to try to become a senator seems a little bit relevant here.
That's crazy, Monkey. You're crazy.
But
also, they're burying the lead. She's getting fat.
Oh, she absolutely is. But they're flailing around like that chick who got pulled out of the car.
They're fighting with one of their own.
Yeah.
And talks about it. We're living in the richest country in the history of the world, right? All right, you tell me why we're the only nation not to guarantee health care to all people.
Because we're the world's police and we have to pay for that.
Yeah. Plus, it's very expensive, and that's why most people have no upward mobility in their countries.
Yeah.
Because they're paying crippling amount of taxes.
The reason we're the richest country is because we're not doing that, you stupid shit. We're broke as fuck. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're overspending partly because of these two retards.
How many Carnegie descendants are still multi-millionaires?
Oh, almost none of them, as I recall.
No, because they all blew through the money that they had.
Yeah, because they inherited it. And eventually you don't respect the money you get because they're so far removed from it.
Being rich doesn't mean you're going to stay rich, and it's how you spend that money that'll determine that, you dumb fuck. How come we're not? We don't. See, there I go to my default, Bernie. We're the richest country in the world, but we don't got the medical care like all them poor countries. We should be doing what the poor countries do. They're our example.
Yeah. Typical commie.
That's like the other team keeps losing. We need to do what they're doing because we're not losing like they are.
How dare we be winners?
What a dumb prick.
People, the only nation not to guarantee paid family and medical leave. Why we have a $7.25 an hour minimum wage.
How many people are making $7.25, Bernie? You fucking. If anything, what's going on proves how dumb the minimum wage is. Minimum wage made it so that you don't have to pay market value.
Mm-hmm.
Because legally you can go, look, all we're paying is $7.25. That's all we have, or whatever it is. That's all we have to pay. That's all we're going to pay. The minimum wage is not the win liberals think it is. And you guys got most people these days making far more than that without ever having to change that law. Ever.
Why we have 800,000 people sleeping out on the street.
Drugs and mental illness.
Yeah, you shut down the lunatic asylums and got rid of a lot of the drug rehab centers where people were forced to go.
Yep.
So that's on you guys.
842,000 people make minimum wage or less. How did or less. Are you talking about servers, I would guess, who make less than minimum wage but actually report more on their taxes? So less than 1 million people, and you guys are still harping on the minimum wage.
Hate fact.
As many people as are homeless there.
Why we have a president who denies the reality of climate change.
You dumb motherfucker.
Because it's mostly bullshit. What?
Denies the reality of climate change. It is literally, if you repeat the lie enough, people will believe it.
Yeah, sadly.
Your climate change was supposed to have New York underwater by now.
Yeah.
Polar bears were going. One of the greatest propaganda things they ever did was the polar bear on the floating ice.
Yeah.
They're like, look what happened. And it gives the impression that these polar bears were just running along the ice, and in Hollywood fashion, it cracked and they're floating off to their death. Those polar bears swam to that.
Yeah, polar bears are shockingly good swimmers. It's impressive if you've ever seen it. They like being in the water.
Oh.
Why we have oligarchs on top who have.
Bro, you're a millionaire. You might not want to bring up oligarchs on top.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
You're a millionaire senator. You're among the top 1%, fucker. What are you talking about? Hey, how about this, Bernie? Give up your seat and insist that it goes to one of those homeless people you were just talking about.
Preferably one of color.
Dude, fuck. I mean, it's why he doesn't say millennial anymore, or sorry, millionaire anymore, because he's got to say billionaire and oligarch. You're an oligarch, fucker. By the definition, you are an oligarch. I don't know how to help you with that. Just write a book. That's how you can get as rich as me. Write a book. You know, after the Clintons fuck you over and they promise to buy a bunch of them so you'll be a millionaire.
So you get a third beach house.
Fucking oligarch. Get fucked.
More and more power every day. Let's talk about that issue, not her own political future. She'll decide that.
Why can't you ask about it, though? The overreaction to this? All you had to say is, I haven't made a decision. I don't want to talk about that. That's it. That's all you had to say. I don't think that's important right now. I haven't decided anything, or no, I'm not, or yes, I am. Could be honest. But all you got to do is be like, I don't really care about it. They make this sound like Caitlyn killed a puppy in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very offended by the question. How dare you?
Dodge the question. Yeah, they did. Absolutely. In dramatic fashion.
I would argue that the answer is yes. But yeah.
I think that reaction from them is actually a response to her putting out feelers and people going like, no.
Yeah, probably. Real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. I don't think any country actually provides total government-funded healthcare to everyone. One of his favorites, China, caps at about $9 a month each, and then the people have to pay the rest. Well, let's see what happens is countries like North Korea, it is paid for entirely by the government. You just get really, really shit service.
Mm-hmm.
The one lady they had hostage there that wrote a book about it, it was Lisa Ling's sister. I think her name was Michelle. Fascinating book, but she had to get an endoscopy in her stomach. I think that's what it's called. And where they stick a tube down and look, and they were like, it's going to be just like back home. And they didn't give her any painkillers or numbing agents. So they just jammed this tube down her throat into her stomach. And it's like that she's described it as being all the technology that 1950 had to offer.
Yeah. There's a reason that rich folks from other countries are like, oh, I'm sick, I'm going to the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not saying our system is perfect, especially with Obamacare. Remember the Affordable Care Act, and if they don't do subsidies, you won't be able to afford it.
Irony in the name, then, right?
Laura Ling is what Dangerous says.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that might have been it. I don't remember. It was like 15 years ago I read the book.
The reality is that those countries have, many of the major Western countries have that because they don't have to pay for a military. There is no country in Europe that if they had to worry about the other countries in Europe the way that they had to all through history until we came in and told them to knock their shit off, there are none of them that could afford it because they would have to be spending on their militaries.
Yeah, the entirety of the EU doesn't have to pay for their military anywhere near what they should be paying because they know that it's on us to go save them because of Article 5.
Oh, excuse me. How can you ask that question when there's a genocide going on? Yeah, same basic thought there. Like, how dare you? There's a genocide. Why are you asking about Hasan abusing his dog? Fuck off. There was never a genocide, by the way. I know that's hard for people to believe because the media told you it was a genocide, and you have people repeating over and over, it's a genocide. It's the literal definition of a genocide, unless you look it up. Yeah, there was never a genocide going on. If there was, there'd be a lot less Palestinians.
Yeah, I mean, they blew up a bunch of buildings, but that happens in war. If they really wanted to commit a genocide, they could have flattened Gaza entirely and killed everybody there.
Did you see the video of the really fat Gazan chick who was talking about the bad Israelis, and I forget who it was, but I think it was Stephen Miller, not the one who works for the White House, the one who works for Red State. He said, I found out where all the Gaza aid was going.
Yeah, I saw a clip of a feast in Gaza from like yesterday.
Yeah.
And somebody said, I guess the starvation's over.
There was never any starvation.
No. Hamas would intercept a lot of the food, but that was about it.
These are people we were told were being starved for 2 years. Do you know what you would look like if you were starved for 2 years?
Auschwitz.
Yeah. Even if you managed to live through the starvation, you found some mice once in a while, you would be skin and bone, literally.
Yeah. If you lived that long, likelihood you'd be dead within 6 months.
And these people look like they just came from a fucking rave.
Yeah.
I've been pointing this out all along. Every time we hear about the starving Gazans, where the fuck are they? Because I have not seen one.
You saw that one crippled kid that they kept farming out.
Yeah, they'll occasionally put out a picture of a kid with muscular dystrophy. And they're like, look, they're starving the kids. And meanwhile, there's a fat guy in the background. That was do the research on this, guys. Children need about 1,500 calories to maintain weight, Jack. 1,500. Adults need about 2,000. So adults need more to maintain their weight. Why is it the only people who were starving were the kids?
Maybe the adults were eating the kids.
It's the only way for that to have happened would be for the adults to be purposefully letting the children starve while they ate fine.
Let the children starve. Oh,
right. Monkey says, educate yourself. I tell people all the time, look it up, because I don't want anybody taking my word for it. I'll show you my sources, and if you have questions about my sources, by all means, ask. But it is amazing how much of this nonsense is so easily disproven with simple common sense. Like, let's see, a human can live, what is it? Where the 666 rule?
You could go,
or is it 333? I forget what the rule is.
It's usually threes, I think, because it's you could go 3 days without water, like 3 months without food if you're healthy,
and 3 minutes without air.
Yeah.
even in the longest term, because there are people who've hunger struck for long periods of time. That gets supplemented with water and vitamins and stuff. They're still getting essential nutrients. But if you're actually starving, you're just alone in the woods by yourself, you don't know what tree bark you can eat, you're not going to live for 2 years without food. You're going to die. You ever watch what is that show my wife watches? It's one of the survival shows where they take like 5 or 6 people and they drop them in a hostile climate, and it's just whoever lasts the longest. They get no help. Whoever lasts the longest. I think they can bring like 1 or 2 things with them. Almost everybody on that show immediately starts starving because they're not getting enough fat in their diet.
Yeah, it's like Naked and Afraid kind of thing.
Yeah, but they get to wear clothes and alone.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
alone.
Yes, alone.
Yeah.
Go watch that show and see these people who are eating on a regular basis often. Like the one guy, he kept catching rabbits, but rabbits don't have much fat.
Yeah.
And without a fatty diet, your body starts eating itself. Humans need this shit.
Well, we live in a time where people are eating better than they ever did before. I mean, you can honestly eat better than a king back in like the 1800s or 1700s pretty easily.
The notion that these people were starving for 2 years is just so ridiculous. They would show these people, look, they're pulling bodies out of rubble. You can't do that when you're starving. You don't have the energy
or the strength.
Your body turns on itself. And go look at pictures of Auschwitz or Dachau. Those were starving people. Take care, monkey. Take care, Scribbles.
Later, Scribe.
Yeah, the nonsense. They're starving. Fuck off. Get fucked. The whole thing was a PR war that way too many people in America fell for. And just simple, you don't even got to go look shit up. Just look at the pictures. When they show them, like, look, there's a fat one right there. I have not seen a single picture from the Holocaust where I saw the fat Jew. Not one.
No.
Oh, it's a genocide. One of my favorite things is before October 7th happens, they were already calling it a genocide there in Gaza. And you will hear the left. I think it was Phil DeFranco himself the other day who brought up how the majority of people in Gaza are young people. Yeah, because they had a population boom, which doesn't happen in a genocide.
Or an open-air prison.
You know what didn't happen during Auschwitz? A baby boom. Yeah, their claim is that no, it's because they're snatching up all the old people. There's no evidence of that at all. It's that Gaza was having a baby boom. They were fucking like crazy to make more, potential terrorists. I didn't call them all terrorists. I said potential.
They needed shields to hide behind.
Yeah. Like, look, half of them are, yeah, because it's not a genocide. They're fucking like mad, making more. The Jews have a little bit of a history with genocide, and apparently they are the worst fucking people at it.
You would think they would have learned some techniques or something.
We want to stop them from existing. Quick, let them double their population. Genocide 2025. Jesus, fuck, what's wrong with you idiots? Anyhow, on that, I think I'm going to wrap up, Jack. I should go get something to eat.
Real quick, there's a little clip I want you to play before we exit, if that's okay.
What do we got here?
It's only 3 seconds long.
This AOC one?
Yeah. It's from that same CNN thing.
There we go. All right.
Instead of talking about having air that's drinkable.
That is a sitting member of Congress.
Indeed. People voted for that.
Repeatedly, because she's been reelected twice.
Check your money hole, monkey.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. Let me see. Load up. Come on, fucker. Liquid air, my favorite. Yeah, don't try to breathe in liquid oxygen. It's not a good idea.
It's drinkable air.
Evolve, thank you. Have you guys seen all the puff pieces about the Palestinian hostages Israel released? And it's all just terrorists with minimum body count of at least 5, like the guy who lost his legs from a failed suicide bomb that killed 3 Israelis. No, I really haven't been on the internet the last several days. What I've been like watching comedy stuff. I've watched a lot of Big J recently, Big J Okerson.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not really paying attention to it. I haven't even been able to play video games. I just kind of sit here. So it's all stuff I'll catch up on. But we talked about this when we talked about the exchange when it was announced. I never once called them prisoners. They're terrorists. They released 2,000 terrorists.
Yeah.
Are some of them just regular run-of-the-mill criminals? Probably, but I'm not willing to give them that grace. Drinkable air. I
had to give you that clip. I mean, you can't just ignore that one, you know?
If this was Bush or Dan Quayle or the JD Vance, this JD Vance, they're giving them shit over a couch thing that never existed. But yeah. AOC says drinkable air, and people are like, what? Right?
Like, seriously?
This woman is a fucking retard. She's dumb.
I posted that clip on X earlier, and Joseph Glick posted the meme of Mel Brooks opening canned air. And that's exactly what I thought of, too, when I first heard her say that. I'm like, there's no way she just said that.
And look, we all trip over our words from time to time, Jack, but the amount of shit conservatives get when they do it versus when Democrats do it. How many of these kind of things did we see from Joe Biden all through his candidacy and presidency? And they were like, what? We didn't hear that. He was articulate.
He was having a good day for a dementia patient.
In AOC's case, though, that woman is just retarded. She's a fucking idiot. And you can see it with what they're doing with their Tard Across America tour.
Yeah.
Bernie has to step in. They're like, I'll handle this one because you're going to say something really stupid. And I'm going to say dumb enough stuff. We don't need you to like it was. She's a retard. And anytime she is given a platform to speak, she says stupid shit. I mean, this is literally the people are too worried about getting things right. That was her point in that, people are more worried about being factually correct than morally right. Yeah, well, yeah, because you can't be morally right if you're not factually correct.
What?
It's what Asmongold, look, if you ignore all the bad shit that Hasan does, he's actually a nice guy. You can't have that separation and be a coherent adult.
This is why you're not allowed in the philosophy club, monkey.
Yeah, I know, because I'm not up my own ass with stupidity. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up there. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward. I think tonight I'm going to try to do a show around 9, Jack. Okay. And we'll watch that whole video.
Cool.
I'm actually looking forward to it because those are 2 retards that I can rip on all day long.
Right?
You have Kami and his stupid sidekick.
It's kind of Pinky in the brain, but there's no brain.
No. Yeah.
They're just 2 special needs people running around. One's geriatric and one's fat.
It's kind of like how, if a woman wants to feel better, she'll go out with her fat friend. Bernie's running around like, you think I'm stupid? Look at this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Compared to her, I'm a genius. I'm a genius oligarch. Fucking oligarch, man. God. It was only a few years ago we didn't have to hear that every fucking day. Yeah. And now every goddamn day I see some retarded lefty talking about oligarchs without any idea of what it means. They've heard it associated with Russia and therefore bad. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, they got to get their buzzwords in.
That's the oligarchs. The oligarchs and the millionaires, they have bread lines where you get the bread. I hate these people. They're so dumb. And they're in power. I saw the other day, Jack, an argument on Twitter where a guy was making the argument that we shouldn't have democracy in the United States. The democracy is bad, and maybe it's time to cut down on the number of people who get to vote. And this guy replied with how bad of a sentiment that is. The original guy's point was that people are too stupid to be voting. And the guy who comes in to make the argument, then how dare you? That's a horrible thing. He said really stupid shit in his reply. I mean, literally getting facts wrong. I'm like, you're making his point, fucker. Democracy is, I mean, it's got its place, Jack. I don't hate democracy. I just understand its limitations. It is literally mob rule. And sometimes the mob is right. And sometimes they're burning down Minneapolis because a fentanyl freak got killed.
Yeah.
The point being, you can't trust the mob to make good decisions. And that's why we have the system we have set up. Because if we didn't have the system we have set up, Jack, if we didn't have the Republican Democrat system set up, people like AOC would be running this country, all of them. It would be all the positions of power. And we'd now be sitting here worried that they're going to try to make us breathe water.
Or drink air. You don't need water. You got the air.
Fuck. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so very kind. Jack, anything you want to show?
Yeah, I'll drop some links to some cool videos. I just had a video come out on the movie channel. The last movie review did really, really well a couple days ago. I'm hoping this one will too, even though it's a more obscure film. And I'll have a comic review coming out later today, so be on the lookout for that. But thank you guys so much for all the tips and donations. You guys are awesome. We appreciate all the support you give us and always coming out to watch the show. You guys are beautiful people.
Oh, God.
And Monkey's having an issue.
Monkeys, yeah.
One of Robert Heinlein's best ideas is that the franchise of voting power should be given freely. Yeah, that's why landowners originally were the ones to vote, because they had a stake in things.
Yep.
But yeah, unfortunately, we've kind of gotten away from that.
Who was it? Was it Reagan who said, democracy is two wolves and a sheep deciding on what's for dinner?
Yeah. My X link is in the pinned. It is in the description. All our links are, including our Patreons and Teespring stores and all the other social media shit. But thank you guys so much for supporting us.
Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I'm supposed to sing in this condition.
Yeah, don't sing. Just close out.
I can't. Oh, it feels like somebody's stabbing me right in the shoulder.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh. row your boat. Now go away.